Welcome to Jets Talk. My name's Ryan. I'll be your pilot tonight. I am oh so excited to talk to you boys and girls. I've got Freeze Bean to my this way. I've got Mr. Matt O'Leary to my that way. O'Leary, how you doing tonight?
Good. You usually throw out a green bean first, but obviously he's been put in timeout. Spoiler alert. We tossed him in there. He's being a bad boy today, so he starts the show in timeout. How about that?
Yeah, no, he's going to be frozen for a little bit. No, Green Bean will be joining us in just a few minutes. He running a little late, so we're going to freeze him because I have the little animation to do it.
Why not?
Yeah,
if
right?
they want to go real nuts, what would happen? Okay, how about this? What would happen if someone did the super chat and said freeze Ryan and Matt and Green Bean?
And it's just a blank screen.
What if someone wants to get real off the rails then?
I guess we'd probably have to have a moment of silence. Oh, jeez. Let's throw up. Boom. Sorry, Green Bean.
Oh, there you
back
go.
again. Frozen. Boys and girls, if you're just hopping in here, make sure you hit that like button for us. And if you want to get entered to our t-shirt qualifier, make sure you hit that like button. For every 25 likes we get, we're going to pick a t-shirt qualifier at the end of this stream to win one of our cool Talkin Jets Apes shirt. Lots of people were excited about that. We started getting tagged in photos of it. Yeah, if you guys get one of the Ape shirts and you want to tag us on social media, like it's super cool to see someone wearing one of our shirts. I think I saw Green and White Militia. I think he was the one that tagged us in it the other day.
Yeah, Green and White Militia got it going on. I wore mine. I received mine in the mail. I had it on yesterday. I don't know. I should have wore it today for the panel. That would have made sense. But I wore it yesterday, and it was beautiful. I love it.
Super comfortable. But yeah, we got a whole bunch to get into. We threw a poll question in the chat. So Matt Greenbean and I have been kicking around the idea of doing a group buy for tickets for one of the games coming up this season. We thought it'd be a lot of fun. And I didn't really, we've done like the home opener in the past, but there's some things going on with Greenbean and I where we're not necessarily sure if we're going to be able to commit to the home opener or not. But we do want to get together with a big group of people, and hopefully you guys want to do that as well. So if you're interested in possibly doing a group ticket buy, you can vote yes or no in the poll question. And then if we get enough interest, then we'll put together a little group buy. We'll talk about the schedule, which we get to, we'll discuss some of the rumors that are going on, some speculation and whatnot, where you guys think the schedule could wind up going. That gets released on Thursday, which means we'll probably have leaks about it tonight or tomorrow, most likely. So lots of things that could be going on. Matt, as far as the schedule goes, what are you thinking as far as our home opener? Where do you think or I shouldn't say home opener. What do you think week one is most likely going to be?
Yeah, so a couple thoughts here. I have been team Jets, Giants, Monday Night Football to start off the season. I know it would be an away game, and I've gotten some pushback on it. People saying, well, people outside of New York wouldn't care about that. And I don't necessarily know how true that is. I think it's, two teams who have playoff aspirations. Both, the Giants were in the playoffs last year. They won a playoff game. I think it would be fine nationally to do something like that in a Monday night. I'm not saying the Sunday night slot, but on a Monday night, why not? Might as well do something like that. I've seen some other interesting ones that I want to hear your take on too. I've seen in Dallas on Sunday Night Football to start the year, which that would be cool too. I can't lie. Or against New England and drop a 50 burger on them. I am good with all of the above, but I kind of want to hear where your head's at with this.
Yeah, I think the natural first game for me is exactly what you said before. Jets Giants. You do a Monday night home opener, or not home opener. It would be the Giants home game, but the anniversary of 9/11, Robert Sala's brother was in the towers. Now, I don't know how squirrely we want to get with like Aaron Rodgers in that, because he did have that like odd comment in the, who was it that was talking about it? It was on some podcast where like he made sort of an interesting comment, and I feel like reporters might kind of go at him for it if we have a game on 9/11, and I don't know if I necessarily want to deal with that. Having it be Patriots or Dallas. I've heard Dallas as the Thanksgiving game. That's what people have been kind of chirping at me.
Yeah, that one also makes just for selfish reasons. I wouldn't want that because I don't want to do my regular coverage on Thanksgiving. I want to eat like a barbarian and be able to enjoy my day. But I will have this caveat. What if it's instead of Dallas on Thanksgiving, What if they play like the third game, the night game at 8:00, like when they played the Bengals in 2010? That was fun. I would be down for something like that.
That was really cool. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I think I'm right. I'm pretty sure the last night Thanksgiving game we had was the butt fumble game. I think.
No comment.
I'm like a solid 35% sure, but I'm
100% sure. I'm 100% sure that it is, but
I remember I was in the car for that. I didn't even watch it like live. I was dropping Becca off at the Woodbury Commons because she was working the overnight for Black Friday. I remember hearing it on the radio and just being like, oh my God, I can't believe this just happened. Like this damn team.
I am more I have happier memories with the Bengals game, so I choose to remember that game for the Jets on Thanksgiving, not the game against the Patriots. Or I think they played Dallas in 2007 on Thanksgiving, which they lost, but they were pretty bad that year. But I choose not to remember that one either.
Yeah, I think if we could I think Patriots week 1 would be a lot of fun. I don't really care if it's a home game or an away game, honestly. But I would love to drop a 50 spot on them. Like, hey, victory formation. We got our other buddy here. Mr. Green Bean. Where are you? Boom! Green Bean! What's up, dude?
Dropping 50 spots, huh?
I want a 50 spot on New England week 1. That would be my my hope. I don't mind if it's an away game. I don't really care. I just want to thump them like to start the season. Let's set the tone for the entire year.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'd love a 50 burger, but I'd take a W. I would.
Yeah, I guess a W over having to do, like a Jet Giant, loss in any capacity or something. Green Bean, we're just talking a little bit of schedule, what we think the first game of the season might be, or speculation around any sort of games. We mentioned Jets Giants, Monday night home opener, or not home opener, it would be the Giants game, or Jets Patriots, or Jets Dallas, whether it be week 1 or Jets Dallas Thanksgiving, something along those lines. Any speculation on where you think certain games are going to fall?
Yeah, well, I like the idea of either Jets Giants. That makes a lot of sense. The only negative I see with Jets Giants on September 11th is that half of New York, or however you look at it, has to be sad on September 11th when their team loses. You know what I mean? So maybe they're not looking to do that. But then again, at least the other half is guaranteed to be happy, where if it's the Jets Pats, we're not guaranteed shit, right? So I don't know. But I think that makes a lot of sense. Don't forget the original 9/11 follow-up game was Jets Patriots, and that was the Mo Lewis crushing Drew Bledsoe game and the birth of Tom Brady. It's been a terrible world since 9/11, I'll tell you. For myriad reasons. But anyway, it happened that way. So maybe kind of a rehashing of that, like a changing of the guard, so to speak, which is what we hope, right? We're all kind of diving into this idea that there's going to be, the Jets are no longer under the Patriots' thumb. And I don't know. I mean, we haven't beat them, so I don't know. I'm there too, believe me, but we haven't beaten them. So it's
do we need a powder puff game, like a homecoming game where you got to fluff the confidence and you're like, all right, yeah, well let's play maybe the Texans or Washington or something like Houston,
right?
Yeah,
the Falcons. Right? I mean, the Falcons are all puffed up right now. They think they're something, but go up there and bloody their nose real quick. Let them know they're still 14 and you're still their father, so to speak. You know what I mean?
I think, are we – oh, no, it's not the Falcons. I think we're supposed to have a joint practice with Tampa, I think, this year in the preseason, if I'm not mistaken.
I saw that. Giants too, right? So Giants and Tampa, I think I saw.
I like that. I like the joint practices. Of course, it scares you a little bit because the last time, 2 years ago, we lost Lawson in the Packers.
Becton got hurt too, didn't he?
Oh, that was Jets Giants. That's right.
Well,
I'm almost positive that was Jets Giants last year. Joint practice, I think.
No, I thought in Green Bay he got banged up. That was before obviously he got hurt in week 1, but I thought he was also one of the guys who got banged up in those practices. I could be wrong.
When did he get hurt last year? I thought last year he got hurt.
It was just like a training camp, remember? Yeah, it was just at the facility, I think. I don't believe it was a joint practice. I'm not 100%, but I don't think so. But
Noah
I
drops
think
in.
what
Noah,
Matt might be referring to is when Carl Lawson was completely schooling Mackay back then. I think that's what you mean.
Maybe. Could be.
yeah,
Remember
bruised ego might be more the injury that he
Right,
sustained
very.
at that particular point in time. Noah drops in. He
Totally.
says, "Hey guys, if the Jets versus Giants is 9/11 is the 9/11 game, are y'all going? I definitely will be there, and I think it'll be sold out. Keep up the great work, gentlemen. I'm probably not going to go just because it's the Giants home game, and I don't really feel like dealing with a bunch of Giant fans. I think I'll just watch that one from the comfort of my home, most likely. Matt or Greenbean, would either one of you be going to a Giant home game if the Jets played on 9/11? Greenbean, I'll throw it to you first.
Well, unfortunately, I won't be able to be there opening weekend anyway. Like that doesn't, even if it's the Jets at home. It's sad to say I'm not going to be able to make it this year. I've been at the last 4 home openers, I believe it is. So I won't be able to do it anyway. So if it's a Giants game, that's going to be even less. I'd love to be there and kind of help balance out, the stadium. I think I would highly encourage as many as can. I used to love going, because it would be every 4 years. And when I was up there, I loved going to the Giants home game when we played them. I loved it. I loved being in there. I was some sort of way back then too. I liked showing them we were real. You guys are fake blue collar wimps. Like I liked that. So I would probably, if I was up there, I'd want to go to the Giants Jets, even with the Giants home nonetheless. But if it's this year, I sadly cannot make it.
Matt, what about you? Would you go to week 1, Monday night, if it was a Giant home game?
I would still consider going, even if it was technically a Giant home game. I would still. I'm not going to definitely lock myself into it, but I would strongly consider going.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I have something that could be popping up right around there that I'm not allowed to share just yet, but that could possibly pop up around there. Blitz Crew dropping in. He says, I want Belichick seeing ghosts to start the season. Don't want Bill having any time to study Aaron Rodgers in the Jets offense. Ooh, that's a good way to put that, right? Like, don't give any tape on Aaron Rodgers with our weapons. Let them just come out and give us the hardest opponent on the docket. Give us the Eagles. Give us the Chiefs right off the bat, and let's catch them, sleeping a little bit. Don't give us a powder puff team. Give us something that I want to lay the boom down on someone and send us make a statement game out of week 1 and put the rest of the league on notice. If you wind up playing like a powder puff, it's not I don't know. It's not as impressive, I feel like.
It's not. At the same time, I think it's very important that we don't come out of the gate and lose. It's just too much. Like the magnifying glass is too hot. You know what I mean? Like we're too close to the lava, walking too close to the ledge. Like there's just too much. We got to come out and win, in my opinion. Now, if we don't, it is what it is. But if we do lose, we're going to just expect a ton of heat, a ton. From Packers fans, from national media, from Giants fans, from the negative Jets fans. I told you we should have got Derek Carr. It's going to be more than we can handle. I'm just going to tell you right now, without being somewhat of a jerk in response. So just know that I think it's important we come out and win.
Dark Soldier says, Chiefs, are you crazy? Patrick Mahomes has a passer rating of 119.7 with 5,101 yards, 49 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions in 16 games in the month of September. Yeah, that doesn't sound great, but man, would it be good to put the league on notice?
Yeah,
Probably not.
well,
Maybe the Chiefs isn't the great option, but getting your, I don't know.
That's what you're saying,
out of the
though.
way.
Come out there and look, with those stats, imagine we come out and hold them to, 204, 1 touchdown and a pick, and we win. Then it's noise. Then it's everybody. Then you hear the Rocky IV montage come in. You know what I mean? Dun, 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 dun. Then that's what it'll sound like.
Drago!
Right.
So let's see. Greg seems to think the Patriots are going to get a top 5 pick in next year's draft. Man, if there's one team that deserves to lose a bunch of games, but also win games that are going to cripple them at the end for draft picks, I want them sitting, right between pick 10 and 17 from here on out, forever.
Yeah, My good buddy Tyler, who helps me out with some video editing, is a Patriots fan. But I told him he is due for a 6-11 purgatory season. I said they've had way too much success. You need to live in 5 to 7 wins for a few years. Not too high, so where you're landing Caleb Williams, but we need you pick him like 7th next year.
Yeah, it wasn't. Now, isn't the wins record, I think Belichick needs to average 9 wins a year for the next 3 years. I think that's what we sort of figured out for him to pass. What is it? Shula's got the record, I think.
So. It's always us. No matter what the rest of the league does, we're always the ones dealing with this shit. Do you see it? Don't tell me that the Jets don't eat more crow than everybody else. I'm just telling you, man.
We
it's always
us. Eat crow. The people, I feel like we get blasted no matter what happens. Like if we beat, the lowly Texans, but it's by a touchdown in garbage time, like, they score a touchdown in garbage time late and we win by 1 score, they'll be like, oh, this Jets super team almost lost there was 1-score game to the Texans. They had the number 2 overall pick last year. It doesn't matter what we do. They'll find some way to negatively spin it towards us.
Totally.
Oh, Green Bean, we put a poll question in the chat. I know you, me, and Matt have kind of been talking about it a little bit, but I put a poll question that says, if we did a Talkin' Jets group ticket buy, would you go? 64% of people said they would.
How many voted?
159 so far.
All right. So 64% of 159. Let me just real quick think about this and do this in my head.
Well, we got 160 right now, so 40 would be 25%. So we have at least like 90 people that would say yes. Based on quick math.
All right, you guys didn't know this, but that vote locks you in. We have your credit card information already.
It saves it based on your YouTube account. If you save your credentials in there, we've locked it in for your ticket.
That's all it. That's it. I tell you. Yeah, but that'd be great, man. I mean, look, we're trying to work on a few things that can enhance your experience with us. Like kind of, offering more things than are generally available. That's, so I think I'm excited. I really am. I mean, we've been kind of evolving for a while now. And I think, we've kind of gotten to this point. It's like, we're like 2 years ago, these ideas would have been like, I don't know, man, let's just, it seems like a lot. Like right now, it feels like, of course, you know what I mean?
Why not?
I think we're there.
Like, let's go for it. Let's get a bunch of people together. Let's get rowdy and like watch our team fucking win. That's right. That's what's going to happen. No losses.
Is what's going to happen. I love it.
Green Bean, if we had to do a ticket group buy, would you prefer a game that we feel confident we're going to win, or
yes,
that's kind of like I kind of like the idea of like going to a winner.
Yeah, well, look, like I get it. I understand all the potential psychology behind all the other options. I have not been in MetLife Stadium for a happy moment since 2015. Okay. I want to go up there. I drive 7 hours each way. Whenever you guys see me, I've been in the car at minimum 7 hours, 8 hours sometimes. Traffic in DC. Like I do all that shit. And then I sit in there and it's miserable. You know what I mean? I just want to go. If we're playing the Texans, sign me up, dude. I would love a 59-3 drubbing where we're even looking at Streveler in the fourth quarter. So I would just kick back, drink my Diet Cokes, and have a nice sunny day. I don't care. I would love it. I'm going for that rather than, beating the I get it, and that would be great. But the equal chance to lose, I don't want to walk out of there a loser again if I can avoid it. That's me.
Matt, how do you feel? Would you want to go to like a game we feel confident we think we're going to win?
I think so. Because, I mean, looking back on the year, there was a couple big games at home where the wins jump out against the Dolphins, the Bills. But let's not forget the win over the shitty Bears. That would have been a fun game to be at. You see it like, putting up a ton of points. Everyone's going ballistic. Now, take away the rain factor. I know that the weather was absolute garbage, but yeah, I don't know. I'd see the Falcons come to town. Sam Howell and the Washington Commanders. Yeah. Sign me up for that, baby. Let's go.
That's what I
Devin Hobson says, are there any games that you are super hyped for this season and any you are blah about? Hyped up for? I mean, it's got to be the division games. That like the division games are the ones that are super exciting for me. I think as far as a litmus test for us, though, the Chiefs and the Eagles are two teams because we've seen us go toe to toe with the Bills and win. We've seen us, we believe we can win against the Patriots and against the Dolphins, but we haven't played the cream of the crop of the rest of the league. And having two Super Bowl contenders or Super Bowl teams that were in it last year, I think those are the two I'm most hyped about if we can win. As far as games that I would say are more blah, I don't know. I guess I'd have to look at maybe an away game. Like, I don't really care about the Browns, I'll be honest. That's probably, if I had to pick one game that I'm like, about, that's an away game anyway. Maybe that one. What do you think, Matt?
I am amped about all 17 games. There is not one
all
game.
20, Matt. All 20 games.
Okay, then I'll change my answer. The 3 preseason games, I don't.
No. Oh yeah, there you go. And then the other 20 we're pumped about. The Super Bowl is the one I'm most excited.
Okay. Fair.
I'm going playoffs.
I thought you were going the other way and be like, well, they do. Well, actually,
excuse me. There's actually little spectacles.
Yeah, there's the 3 preseason games. Okay, I like what you did there. Yeah, like I don't know the NFC teams. Outside the Eagles, obviously, because they were in the Super Bowl. That, like you said, that's a good litmus test. But do we care about the Commanders or the Falcons? Or
I think Falcons might be more of like I don't really care, just because like the NFC East is just money in terms of ratings and things like that. So there's gonna be more eyeballs on it. I feel like the NFC South just doesn't. Like if you had substituted a Falcons game for like a Georgia game or like an SEC game, like people would be more amped to like watch that than like the NFL equivalent. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I'm excited for all 17 games. There's not really any there. It's like, oh, I don't want to have to sit through that.
Green Bean, what about you? What do you think about? Are you amped for any particular game and blah for any other?
Yeah, I mean, well, like you said, I'm amped for the division. I want to I want to kick the shit out of our division. I'm sick of it. You know what I mean? Like I'm sick of it. I really am. I would like to sweep our division. See the fucking life I live. Everything's just, like I'm having one of those like last couple hours. Everything I do is just a little bit off. You know what I mean? Like my cord gets stuck, my loop gets stuck on the door. Like it's just that kind of a day. So it is what it is. But like so I'm just sick of the division. I really want to beat the division, but the truth is, like Matt said, like I'm really looking. I look at every game. I would love if this team went 17-0, straight to the Super Bowl, and we were the team that knocked the champagne glasses out of the Dolphins, the 72 Dolphins' hands. Like that. Like there's no boring game. I've had people say to me, like when we're winning, like I don't know, the game was kind of boring. Like, dude, boring.
No way. We don't get many wins. There's no boring win.
You're right. Like I understand not necessarily exciting, but if you can't find a way to enjoy a nice, good, comfy win, then you need a psychiatrist or a psychologist because you're damaged. Like something's wrong. Like we're misaligned. Like that's the good shit. That's what we're going for here. That's why we get a dominant team and all that stuff. So that said, depending on how the first half of the year goes, we could definitely be looking at games later and going, I don't even want to watch this.
You know what I
mean? That happens toward the end of the year. You're like, what do I care? You put on the game. I'm doing a live stream and it looks like this.
Yeah. The only games that I feel blah about are the games that like shit goes wrong. Like when we watched AVT and we watched Brees go down in that game, it was like, okay, we won, but at what cost? Yeah. And like, I'd rather have lost that game and kept both those guys than, win it the way we won it. Because that game sucked. That was a miserable game to watch. And we almost lost it at the end.
That was not a fun win. That was probably fair to say, least favorite win last year. Maybe least favorite win ever.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I'd be hard pressed to find another one, at least off the top of my head. That I felt
actually,
no,
Rams.
least favorite. No, yeah, Rams. Yep. The Rams one hurt more, but the one last year was like we were excited for the season, and to lose our 2 best offensive players was a kick in the nuts.
That stunk.
Blitzcrew Hobson says we need to wrap up the AFC early. That way we play Zach against the Patriots to end the season, so they can get the number 2 pick instead of Caleb Williams. That would be funny if they played Zach Wilson and they beat us because we're resting all our starters, and now they don't get the quarterback they want. Because I don't want them even in that conversation, though. I want them like middle of the pack, pick 12 and beyond. I don't want anything. I don't even care if they make. Actually, no, I don't want them in the playoffs, but I don't mind them just getting bounced first round of the playoffs or something.
Yeah, I want them out. I want them to feel it. I want them to feel what it's like to sit home and watch everybody go and go. I want them to be staring in the restaurant while we all sip on our soup. That's what I want. Like us, it's cold out here.
They're outside. They're what was it? They're shivering like Christmas Carol. They're watching outside. They're seeing Tiny Tim's like cutting the turkey leg or whatever he's doing in there.
Yeah, well, you got the little kids outside, right?
That kind of thing.
That's what I'm thinking of. Little kids. I want that to be the Pats. I want to laugh at them.
I would love nothing more than for Aaron Rodgers to come here and say, "I'm going to play until Belichick retires, so he can't get the win record." Be like, "Let's go, let's go."
Do you guys know how Aaron Rodgers has done against Belichick? Did anybody take a look?
No, I actually have no idea. I'll be honest.
Guess how many times he's played Belichick?
4.
No, it's more than that. I think it's got to be more.
No, I don't think it's more. I think it's 4 because he's been in the league 18 years. Actually, probably 3. He's probably played 3 times. Because it's every 4 years.
He's 1-1
against 2. Wow,
Bill Belichick. Now he's started against the Pats. Like, it's weird. I don't know why that is, but it says he's 2-2 versus the Patriots before, like you're saying, but he's 1-1 as a starter against Belichick. He won one. Well, that's 1-1. I'm like, he won one of them and he lost the other one. That's 48.
Great analysis there, Green Bean.
I'm still coming back from whatever the hell I just went through. 48 of 81, 627 with 4 touchdowns, no picks. Not bad. Not bad. But imagine that. We have been tormented by the Patriots. Aaron Rodgers played Bill Belichick twice. The fuck is that? Is that happens?
I don't understand how. I don't. He had to have been hurt.
Maybe he was
the
injured.
only way.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what years would it have been? 2015.
Let's take a look.
Well, I guess we played the Packers
14.
last year. So last year was 2022. So then the time before that would have been 2018 or 19, and then time before that would have been 2015.
Well, yeah, that can't be right because he's played. Well, in 2006.
Well, he didn't start.
He technically played, but Aaron Rodgers was. I mean,
Brett Favre was
still there.
That makes sense. So that would have been the 4th one. So he probably played 3 times, but might have been injured 1, and that's why he's 1-1. I could see that.
Yeah. Well, it says here 3 though. So you got 11/30, 2014. Maybe Bill Belichick wasn't coaching that day.
Yeah, did he get the bounty gate thing and just get like, sorry, you're out of the league for a year, and we just totally missed it?
Yeah, maybe. Then he played in 4 years later in 2018. Then he played 6 years later. Oh no, it's 4 years later too, in 2022.
So we're missing one. 2010 he would have played.
Yeah, it says he's really the one game he just threw a couple passes. But then the other 3's 2-1, 24 for 38, 24. So he had a 63% completion percentage, 55.8, and a 60%, 6 touchdowns, 1 pick. Not bad, dude. Either way.
It's significantly better than any Jet quarterback has ever done against the goddamn Patriots.
Hey, hold on. Okay, I figured it out. He was inactive in 2010 when they played New England and lost.
When was that like end of the season inactive, like just resting? Because that was the year he won the Super Bowl, I think, wasn't it?
It was, but it was week 15. But Matt Flynn played and threw 3 touchdowns.
Huh. So he would have won, I would hope. I would think. Interesting. I wonder why Flynn was in. How to be an injury,
I guess he got hurt for something. But yeah, he was inactive that week for whatever reason.
All right, so 1-1. Look at us go.
2-1.
2-1. Yeah, that's true because he didn't. Gotcha. Chrono Kenny hops in. He says Packers Packers last 2 to 3 years have lost all their first games and started slow. Don't wish for Pat's first game, boys.
No way, Kenny. Punch him right in the nuts.
You jerk. No, I don't know. So like if is Rodgers starting, did Rodgers start slow or did the Packers start slow? And I don't know. I don't know. Like, do you think there's going to be a little more? We heard Peyton Manning on the Pat McAfee show this week where he was talking about how having the same offensive coordinator and understanding the offense was a huge help. That's why Peyton started a little bit slower to start and why Brady started a little bit slower because they didn't understand the full concept of like the offense they were going into. Having Hackett here with the players you already know, it feels like it's just like plug and play almost. Feels like they should hit the ground running.
Last 2 years were not good. They lost both those games. But if you want to say, he did say 2 to 3. So I went back to 3 years, which was an MVP season, by the way. He went for 364 and 4 touchdowns in a 43-34 win.
Over who?
The Vikings.
That was probably the year they got Cousins? The year after they got Cousins?
Oh, Cousins was there. They went.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think
that
was probably his first season, second season there, because I think 2018 was his first year there, because that's when we got Darnold, wasn't it? 18.
Yeah, that was his third year with the Vikings.
Oh,
18, 19, 20.
Oh, 20. Shit. Oh, duh, math. Yeah, 20 was the year
okay.
we're talking about. That makes sense. I'm thinking 19. Yeah, interesting. So how did he do the last 2 years then? Like, who did they play, and what were the stats?
They lost to the Saints, which was not good. And they put up 3 points. It was 38-3. And Aaron Rodgers in that game, 133 yards. No, 133 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 picks. But then I think he threw like 2 picks the rest of the season after that. And what did he do last year? I know that they lost to, who the hell did they lose to last year? Was it Minnesota in their first game? Yes, it was. They lost 23-7. That also was not very good. But he went for, not great. $195, no touchdowns and a pick.
Oh man, that would be such a kick in the balls if he started off like if he starts this season like that, we're going to hear it.
That won't be good.
No, we're going to have a bunch of people get real pissed. Oh, this is bullshit. I can't believe we paid this much for a quarterback and blah, 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 blah. It's such a waste. And then everything will kind of be right in the world.
Make no mistake, there are thousands of Jets fans that are waiting for this to start slow, waiting for it. They're not going to give it a second to get its legs under it. They're going to pounce the first incomplete pass, the first interception. They're going to come out of the woodwork. Twitter is going to be polluted. You know what I mean? Our chats, they're going to be, I'm telling you, and God forbid we lose. Let's say we come out and we go 1-2 the first 3 games. It's going to be ugly town. That's what it's going to be.
People are going to be pulling their hair out. They're going to be like, Bench Rodgers, we can't lose a first.
Joe Douglas could be fired.
This is bullshit. Yeah, people will be losing their damn minds. J-Boy comes in and says, you guys think Quinnen sits when not paid? I think Quinnen's going to get paid. I really do. I think it's going to be on the eve of training camp. It might be like maybe a few days into training camp for like suspense purposes for Hard Knocks. But I do think Quinnen gets signed. I think he's too important to Robert Saleh's defense. I think he's too good of a player at an important position that Joe Douglas clearly values. He values the trenches. I would be very surprised if we allowed him to walk. Now, in the situation where Quinnen is saying, I want $28, $29, $30 million a year, then yeah, his ass is going to sit on the 5th-year option. He's going to get franchise tag next year, and then we'll ship his ass off for 2 first-round picks in 2025. But not going to happen like that. We're going to re-sign him. We're going to retain our own. This is the first time we've had a good player that we want to retain on a second contract since Muhammad Wilkerson. He doesn't have the same work ethic as Muhammad Wilkerson. I think Quinnen's a much better person and player. But do I think he sits if he's not paid? Until he starts getting dinged a lot of money, for sure. I don't think he's going to sit out any actual games. I don't think it's worth it for him to do that.
Yeah, but
Green, what do you think?
Sorry, go on.
No, I was throwing it to you. What do you think?
I hope not, because then he might play this year, but then he's like, screw you, I'm not signing. what I mean? I'm not extending. And then it creates.
No, I don't care.
this
Franchise tag. It is what it is. Like if he's gonna sit that long,
then it's like a whole thing. Then you got Sauce and Garrett and all these young.
Oh no,
guys
that's when
that
the
are
Jets
no longer,
leak the contract. If I'm Joe Douglas, I leak the contract. I say I offered him 4 years, $100 million, $70 million guaranteed, and he said no. Like, dude, no one's gonna be upset with you if you leak that contract. And Quinnen said no. Quinnen would look like the bad guy in that situation, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you got to get it done, man. You know what I mean? Like, why? You know, I think these guys, that's all well and good, and you can leak that contract, but there's no confirmation that that's actually real. You know, they'll stick together. They'll believe Quinnen. You know what I mean? They'll be like, you know? So I think the optics are very, very important. We're trying to change the culture. Not only is he an amazing young player who's done things the right way, who, you know, is the first opportunity to make this kind of changing of the guard as far as, you know, taking care of your own guys. Like, look, like even like we brought Connor McGovern back for 1.9 and then you fucking signed Billy Turner, you know, for 3 and you signed Randall Cobb for 3.5. It's kind of like, I don't know, man. Like I don't give a shit one way or the other with the money personally, but the optics as far as the team, like, like our own guys are getting chinced and other guys who've never been here are getting what they want. And I think that can send a negative ripple through the team. And I just don't want it. Like what are we going to say? Like, where are they? How far apart are they really? What are you, 1 million a year, 2 million a year? Is Quinnen asking for 40? Does he want to be the high? Does he want 33 and be higher than Aaron Donald? Okay, then that's ridiculous. But I don't think that's the case. I think it's probably 25 and Joe Douglas wants to pay 23. Just fucking give him the 25. You know what I mean? Like you pay him because this is an opportunity. It's bigger than just Quinnen. It just happens to be at this pivotal moment, like where we haven't given Joe Douglas has literally never had to give a player a legit second contract since he's been here. This is now what, his 4th draft? You've never had to extend anybody? Get it done. Like, you know, I'm a Joe Douglas guy. I really am. I think he's the best GM we've ever had. That's where I stand. That said, hey, asshole, you this is something other GMs have had to deal with from the second they've arrived. You had 4 years. Sign Quinnen Williams. Get it done. If you got to give him an extra $1 million, you give him an extra $1 million.
Yeah, I like the idea of bringing Quinnen back. The argument, I think, comes down to I think the optics is the biggest thing because you do have a bunch of young players. And then I think you're talking about, okay, snap percentage, right? Like Quinnen Williams was somewhere between 56 and I think at most was 70%, 67% of the snaps, I think was the highest he hit. And the 4 other defensive tackles that we're kind of talking about here, Christian Wilkins hasn't gotten his deal yet, but Simmons, Lawrence, who was the other one? There were 3 that got contracts. And Payne. All of those guys
Payne,
played
right.
up. All those guys, like the other 4 have played up to 96% of the snaps. Like it is drastically higher than Quinnen. Like their low percentage is Quinnen's high percentage of snaps. So there is something to be said for that.
And everything are more.
They're more, yes. He has done more with less, 100%.
Yeah.
But you're
What does that tell
also
you?
paying him more than everyone else to play less. So
But to
there's
do
probably
more.
an argument for, yeah.
Hey, man, like here's the thing. Like Quinnen shouldn't be punished because Robert Saleh and Ulbricht have this hard-on for a rotation. Quinnen would play 100% of the snaps if you let him. He would. Now, that's not to say that's better or worse.
Yeah, the
But he
rest
would.
may be helping him to do that. Like that might be keeping him fresher longer into the season or longer into games. And that could be benefiting the whole defensive line, not just himself. But I think that is definitely, you know, something they look at. Like, if you're saying, hey, if I'm giving him a record contract to play, you know, 2/3 of the snaps, like, would you give a record contract to Mekhi Becton for playing 2/3 of the offensive snaps?
If he was doing 2/3 of the touchdowns, sure.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I know he can't.
I see what
I'm just saying.
But that, so, okay.
If 2/3 of the sacks that never happened were because of him,
or because of Becton. I don't know. I see where you're going with it. Then the petty part of things. So now the petty side of it is like, do you think there's any concern whatsoever where if we're going for a ring these next 2 years with Rodgers and they say, hey, we got to try and like make as much cap space now, which means extending Quinnen makes a lot of sense because now you're not using the franchise tag on him, which eats up a ton of salary cap space next year. It would be 20, I think it's 20.5 million is what I saw the tag at. Now you're making guaranteed money and bigger cap hits into 2025, 2026. Does that impact your ability to re-sign other guys? And does it matter? Maybe it doesn't. Like right now, the Jets own Quinnen's rights for the next 3 years. It's 3 years, $55 million fully guaranteed is basically what we owe Quinnen if we were to tag him the next 2 years after this season. An average of $18.5 million a year. So we're just going to offer him an additional $7 million because we're good guys. Like that. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's kind of a, he's had one really good season, and the rest have been like, oh, we need an edge rush for him to be effective. Like he should have been effective 2 years ago.
You mean on his third defense in 3 years? Is that what you're saying?
Sure. Yeah, I guess.
You know what I mean? Like, that's
do you think that was like a big? Do you
like,
think that was a big thing? Like, do you think it was like learning the new scheme? Like, I don't know. I feel like D line, it's like pin ears back and go.
Wasn't Greg Williams at 3-4? Wasn't he two gapping?
Yes.
Greg Williams?
Yes. Yeah, they went from a 3-4 to a 4-3.
He was two gapping, dude. I mean, like that's the thing. Like you don't get.
But 2 years ago was Salah's defense.
Yeah, but then he's been here since 2019. Sure. So he had Bowles. No. Right? No, Didn't he have Bowles? No, he was. That's right. It was McCagnon.
It was Greg Williams.
So he had
a year, 2 years.
Yeah, so he had two defense. Right.
Williams and then
Greg Williams
and
yeah.
Or no,
but still, man, it's like this is his second year in Salah's defense. It can be argued that he didn't. And it's not that he needed an edge rusher to be successful. He was already successful. He was already among the better defensive tackles, but it's his first year in this system. And it's not that he needed some stud. He needed someone. You know what I mean? There was we had a vacuum of talent. I mean, there was no rotation. There was constant injuries. And I mean, dude, he's gotten better every single year. He's the exact type of player to pay. And look, there are players all the time. It's the way the NFL works. They have 3 shit years. They have a contract year. They explode. Somebody gives them $100 million. That's the way that it is. Now, I don't want Joe Douglas to be reckless. Quinnen is not reckless. Quinnen has proven he's gotten better every single year. He went from a 3-4 to a 4-3. He finally has second year in this system, and he puts this this kind of production together. We saw the defense with one game without Quinnen. It was different. We didn't suck.
Oh, totally different.
But it was different, man. And if that guy's gone for a 5, 6, 10 games a full season, it's going to be different, man. He's important. The Rams wouldn't do this to Aaron Donald. They know it. Now, and I'm not saying they're doing anything.
He's not even close to Aaron Donald's level, though. Let's not make a mistake. He's not getting 20 sacks a season right now. That's like Aaron Donald is different. He's a different dude.
When did that start with Aaron Donald? I know, and I'm only saying
Aaron Donald was like defensive rookie of the year. He was like MVP multiple years.
I'm only comparing him to Aaron Donald for importance to the defense. That's what I'm saying. He's important. He's our Aaron Donald. He's that pivotal player in the center of the defense that needs to be taken care of. And he's young.
If he's not here, this defensive line is not nearly good enough. The reason why they're in the conversation with the 49ers and the Eagles for one of the better defensive lines in the game is because of Quinnen. Yes, they have a lot of depth on the edge, but they don't have that dominant edge. They have a dominant interior guy. And without him, it just becomes a very mediocre. And like you would just be setting such a bad precedent for all the other guys that you're going to have to pay. Like
if Quinnen's offered 4 years, $25 million a year, and he wants more than that, I tell him to kick rocks. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not giving you more than $25 million a year. Like you're getting paid $1.5 million more for less snaps. We own your rights for $18 million a year, so we're gifting you an extra $7 million a season. Like this, like I'm saying to pay him the second most of any defensive tackle for less snaps than he's currently like doing with other guys, like than other guys are doing. I'm saying if he's going for the jugular and he says, "Oh no, I want like Revis treatment. I want, top money like this top dog's getting in Aaron Donald. If he's trying to sniff 28, 29, $30 million, I'm telling him to kick rocks. And I'm, 2 years, hold on to him. All right, whatever. But I think it'll get done on the eve of training camp. I really do. This is just me getting fired up for no reason because I know it's going to get done.
Well, yeah, and I feel like you're getting fired up on the wrong side, too. I'd like to welcome you back. I'd like to open the door. Hey, get the fuck over here. What are we talking about?
Quinnen's going to get done. It's going to be 4 years, $100 million with like $70 million guaranteed, and everyone's going to be happy, and no one's going to have to worry about it. I think the optics with the rest of the team in the locker room is big. I think it's absolutely huge because like we talked about before, you pay Le'Veon Bell, you pay Tremaine Johnson, heck, even CJ Mosley got a monster deal and never played a snap for the New York Jets. So like, I think you do have to pay your internal players more than you have to do anything else. But like, I'm just saying 4 years, $25 million is more than generous for that kind of contract. And I think if someone was trying to stick my nose in it at that point, I'd be pretty salty if I was Douglas.
Yeah, but like, again, we don't know what he could be offering. He could be willing to take 25, and Joe Douglas is saying, well, hey, he's doing the Ryan argument. Hey, well, Dexter, Simmons played 89% of the snaps and you played 70%. So we think 18s. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know what we could be, and we can assign emotions to either side. I think no matter what it is, stop splitting hairs, both sides. Now, if Quinnen's saying, hey, I deserve $30 million, then you say, listen, kid, sit down for a second. Nicole, come here. I need to talk to you. He's not Aaron Donald. Like, can we stop? You know what I mean? Aaron Donald, like 9 sacks, 11 sacks, 20.5 sacks, it's different. Okay, it's different. We love Quinnen, but he should be paid higher than Simmons and Lawrence and in my opinion. And he's better than them. And I think, they just need to get it done. I don't give a shit. Get it done. Again, Joe Douglas hasn't had to sign anybody. If you got to pay a couple extra million to get this kid in here with a smile on his face, not pissed off and aggravated, and then deep in the training camp, which what happens when they hold out for 3 weeks? They end up getting injured. That's what happens. Get him in here, man. Stop. This is the Aaron Rodgers year. That's what I think.
How about them Jets says defense will suck without Quinnen Williams. Pay the man already. Well, he's not going to sit out this season. He'll be here for sure. And the Jet Engine says Ryan can't be more wrong here. This is the kind of stuff why the Jets have a garbage rep around the league. Pay him and show if you ball, the Jets reward you. Sure. I'm saying pay him the second most. I'm not saying pay him Aaron Donald money. I'm saying pay him $25 million, $100 million over 4 years. That is second most by $1.5 million per year. That's what I'm saying. If he balks at that, then I tell him to kick rocks. I'm sorry, like that's my stance on that. I'm 100%. He's a team guy. Then take a more than generous offer. $100 million over 4 years. That is beyond generous. 100%. I think, at least.
I'm with you.
Wrong Verb says 4 years, $27.5 million a year. Book it. I don't care. It's not my money. I think that would be a silly contract to have to sign. William comes in and says, thank you very much, guys, for your altruism throughout the week in regards to my stepdaughter. Thank you all, Jet fans. You guys are amazing. William, hopefully you have a little bit of peace and, everything going on. We wish you the best, brother. I'll leave it at that. Jet Engine drops in and says, just tuned in. I do not want to open on 9/11. It's not St. Patty's Day. It's not a day for fun and celebration for me. It's a solemn day of remembrance. Just one old fireman's opinion. I think that's a good way to look at it as well, too, right? Like maybe it's not maybe they're taking that into account. And they're saying it's not a day to necessarily be celebrated with like a New York thing. But I think you could do a cool tribute with New York and, the Jets Giants. You have all the first responders hold the flag, and it's like a real emotional thing. I think you can put a lot of meaning to it more than like a happy kind of a thing to it. I don't know. Greenby, do you think there could be a positive spin on a 9/11 home opener? Or do you think it's maybe a little too because obviously Fireman Ed and like that sort of thing? Like I feel like there's
totally.
I feel like New York is first responder.
Yeah,
like kind of central almost.
Well, it is, and I totally get what Jet Engine's saying. I mean, my brother-in-law and a few other people that I know were there as well. I mean, as New York City firemen and paramedics were there. I mean, there was a lot of us, we know a lot of people that were there. And it is a day of solemn remembrance. I get it. At the same time, bringing awareness back to it. You know what I mean? Like, hey, let's not forget this. And the tagline is never forget. And here we are, not that anybody's necessarily forgotten per se, but what year is it? 2023. So we're 22 years later. Maybe it'd be a good thing, like September 11th, spotlight on New York. It's the only game on TV, and kind of make it about that and all the potential funds that are still needed. For a lot of the firemen. I know a lot of the firemen are they've gotten sick. And all
asthma,
kinds of shit.
The mesothelioma or whatever it is.
The
lung cancer.
for sure, man. So, I mean, to be honest, I don't have a passionate side in this for myself. I would support whatever the people that are closest to it feel is, appropriate. But I can see it both ways. I can see a positive on both ends. Like you said, I mean, it just so happens that our mascot is a fucking New York City fireman. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like an opportunity to do that. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point. They might just say, hey man, let's just leave that one alone and do, and let's put the Jets and the Giants on Sunday, opening weekend,
Matt, how do you feel about like a 9/11 home opener?
Yeah.
Or not home opener, but like an opener.
Yeah. I would be in favor of it. I understand why, like, I understand where he's coming from. I get it. And I'm not necessarily even saying it like a celebratory thing, but I think it could just be, nice to have everyone out on the field beforehand and, have, FDNY, NYPD, all that stuff, and kind of make it a memory. Because, I mean, they played on, last year, the home opener was on September 11th, and that was a Sunday, and they played. And they had a nice, on field ceremony beforehand. So I get it. And I never meant it as like a holiday or anything like a St. Patty's, but I don't know. I think it would just be a nice way of remembering, I guess.
My dad was down there for the cleanup portion, not day of, but he was a police officer in Paramus, so he went down there to help out the cleanup. Josh hops in. He says, our coach started coaching because of 9/11. Yeah, his brother was actually in one of the towers. He did get out safe, but that was something that we talked about a little bit there. So there's a lot of storylines, I think, with the Jets, the Giants, and I think that's kind of where the NFL sort of trends to. Like, what is the juicier narrative that they could push? And I feel like that might be one of them. But maybe they don't want to. They may not want to go that route. Harry W. comes in. He says, Bill Belichick is just a little sad old man without his TB12, losing records since he has no Brady. That just makes me feel so good to read that. I didn't even really think about that, but just soak it in for a little bit, Green Bean. He's got a losing record.
Yeah.
Without Brady. Makes you feel good?
Tom Brady has another ring.
That's true.
I hope he stops by the Patriots facility just to say hi. Make amends. Hey, I just want to say
one little
I'm
middle
sorry
finger
for,
on the Tampa Bay ring.
But he just puts the ring, just keep doing you know what I mean, guys? I don't really know.
I don't know what happened, but
be the only time I ever rooted for Tom Brady. I hate all those guys. I hate them. I hate them. Bill Belichick, Harry. I hate him. But he's right. He's a sad little grumpkin. But he's beating us every time, Harry, because of fucking Zach. Me and Matt, we sat in that stadium together. We were excited. We're like, yay! 5 minutes in, we're like, this is going to be the worst. And it was.
Spoiler, it was. It, in fact, was the worst.
Oh, God.
Fucking Bill Belichick. I hate that guy. We got to do it, man. this has got to be the year. And not only like we don't want to squeak out a win. I'll take it. No, you know what I mean? Again, like I said, W. But like you said, dude, we got to hang fucking 48 points on them and stop and holding them to a field goal.
Mm-hmm. I don't want this a one-score game. I want like Jets could run out the clock. We're throwing Hail Marys. Like, let's go. Let's fucking lay it on them. We've had 20 years of pain. I could give them 4 quarters of torment.
Yeah, man.
Scott says, I think Quinnen would take 25 if we offered it. He would be second highest paid. I think that's what's happening. I think I don't even know how much they're even negotiating. Like, I feel like part of me, like the Cimini comment where it was like, oh, they're not even close on either sides. And like Douglas has been saying they're optimistic things are going to get done. Is this Quinnen's agent trying to leverage it for more? Is it Cimini just trying to get people pissed off and now either Quinnen responds or the Jets responds and now he's got an article to write? I think that's more what it is. I think it's Cimini trying to kick up dirt.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was going to say that before. It completely left my mind. I was saying, by the way, this is all Cimini. The whole thing. Except to say, he's not fucking signed. So what is this? You know what I mean? And he's not involuntaries and all that stuff. But what's interesting is Quincy said to us, I mean, there was he said he's like he wouldn't be doing anything right now. He's expecting his first kid. So that's what he's doing. Now, remember how mad at Beckham we got? So maybe
that's ridiculous. I know I was having my first kid last June, so I was like, oh, you know what, Becton, enjoy your paternity leave. Quinnen, enjoy your paternity leave. You only have that brief moment in time to spend with your little one. Who cares? Football will be there when you get back.
Yep.
No rush.
So that's why they're not close. That's why they're far apart. Because he's like, I don't want to talk right now, Joe. Give me a couple weeks. I want to hang out with my wife.
Yeah, not to mention, like, the longer he waits, if Wilkins gets paid, that just means a higher payday for Quinnen anyway. So, like, it's to Quinnen's benefit to wait till the end of the summer regardless. I think we're hurt more because he's waiting because we could have signed him cheaper a little bit earlier, but I think it makes sense for him to wait.
Right.
Main Jets fan drops in and says, so the real question, what is Bean willing to pay at absolute top dollar for Quinnen? I love Quinnen. I think he's the best defensive player we have, but also don't screw a Super Bowl team either. Catch 22. So I think that's where I sort of fell, right? Like if we're offering $25 million and Quinnen says, like, sticks his nose up at it and he says, no, that's not what I'm doing, then I think I get irritated. I don't know. Greenman, what's your upper limit for like a Quinnen contract?
I don't know. 25 sounds good to me. I mean, I don't think that's going to be turned down. I mean, 25 is serious. He's the second highest paid. I mean, I don't know, 26. I mean, like, if you're firm at 25 and he says, dude, I'll sign it right now for 26, you don't give him 26? You go, all right, I'll give you 26. Like,
so maybe I say 23.6, so you're 100,000 more, and then you want a little bit more. Okay, I'll give you 25. Maybe that. I think 25 is my top offer. I don't think I'm saying like, if I don't think it has to get to 26.
Yeah, I don't know. Just the last 2 years, I've really gotten away from the whole idea that the salary cap is prohibitive. Like, I know that it is.
Especially when you see Von Miller getting 20-something million a year from Buffalo. Like, good teams find a way to pay good players.
They find a way. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. Like, they just sign whoever they want. They figure it out. They cut this guy. They eat a little crow over here. They do that thing over there. Like, that's what you need. You just need to do it. You need to manipulate it. Like, as far as Woody Johnson just raised ticket prices twice in 6 months on everybody. I don't want to hear anybody defending paying money.
Oh, I 100% think that's why the Rodgers deal got done before the draft. It's for all the season ticket holders. It's not tinfoil hat. I know 100. I would. I'm like, so if I could. I don't know how there's any way I could possibly prove this, but like I was so sure it was going to happen after the draft, and to see that happen before. I guarantee ticket prices are going to get jacked up even higher because they're like, oh, we're about to do all these group ticket buys. Let's raise the price $20 or something like that across the board. They're going to make a fortune off having Rodgers now versus getting Rodgers in September when it would have been more fiscally responsible for the actual team from the bottom line and the net operating expenses, it's more beneficial to, forget the draft picks and like get him in earlier. I think that's what happened.
You don't think there's any value? You don't think there's any value in having him here, throwing a Garrett Wilson and doing these team events with the guys?
Not right now, no. I think it's all publicity to get raise ticket prices. I don't think there's enough going on right now that it's going to impact how, because he could have done that anyway. He didn't have to be on the Jets team to practice.
Not in the facility. He's not going to be in meetings and stuff with the team and going over verbiage and seeing how Tippmann snaps the ball and McGovern and all the little shit that.
But he knows it.
See.
But he
doesn't
can
know
do
how
all
Tippmann snaps it.
No, but he can. You can meet. You just can't meet at a team facility. Like they could have done that. They were talking about doing Jets West. Him and Zach.
It's not the same.
Yeah, I think it's more important for him to get in by training camp than anything else.
Who?
Like the stuff that's going on now is more for marketing to push like everything else. I think I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know if there. I think the chemistry side of things was starting to happen regardless because you saw Lazard, and all the photo shoots of them practicing together. I don't know. I think it's less important right now and more important for ticket sales. Mr. Downtown says, FYI, Quinnen cannot hold out because of the CBA, but can hold in. Well, he would have like a phantom injury, right? Like that's how guys do it now. It's one of those things where it's like,
why can't he hold out? He doesn't get paid.
No, because he loses. I think it's a pretty steep fine. I don't know if it's only your year's salary or like if it's like could be higher because he's making $9.5 million this year. I think it's like $500,000 a week, isn't it?
Let's see.
Which may wind up actually just being his salary anyway. Like whatever it is from first week of August through, or no, it would be last week of July, I guess.
I typed in, can NFL players, and the first thing that comes up is smoke weed.
I love how as soon as they made pot legal in Colorado and Washington, Denver and Seattle are the two teams that make it to the Super Bowl that year.
It's funny. Really,
neither team was allowed to do it technically. Yeah. I don't know. I know they can hold out, but there's penalties. So it would have to be some type of like injury, like, oh, I have migraines, or oh, I have like my helmet doesn't fit on, like Antonio Brown, where you can't technically get fined for like a medical ailment. Like, oh, I have a strain in my hamstring. I got to work it out. There's ways to do it. Yeah. He could hold out, but it's a lot harder to hold out right now.
What a dumb article. Why would a player hold out? Fucking
for more money, of course.
Why would
I hate seeing articles that make me like bang my head against my keyboard.
Well, you know what it is, man? It's that the internet sites now. Like, it's weird. I'm down the middle, right? Like, of course, like I want us to be able to write stuff if we want and contribute and put stuff out there. And at the same time, it's like, I think you should kind of have to search for that shit. Like if I Google something and the articles that come up, they look like they're legit and it's just some dude. And he's like, right. It's all, it's like, what is, and you kind of, it
that's
rubs
the whole
you
internet
wrong,
age of like, dude, it's like all news now. It's like there's like this weird, like they make it look official because it's like the fucking dude. Twitter pisses me off now. Like, dude, everyone's fucking verified, and it's like I don't give a shit. The check mark doesn't mean anything.
If you have $8, you're verified.
The first thing I look at when I see a verified, I click on it. It's like, oh, subscribe to Twitter Blue. Fuck this guy. Like I don't know. It's just that like I hate it. It drives me bonkers. They're making everything seem official without it being actually official, and that's what drives me nuts.
I'm with you, man. Everything is bullshit. And like, so I'm reading this article and it's just like, and then it's something you have, like, that's not true. And then you look at it, it's like, not true. It's just some dude in his basement, like, ha 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 ha. And he's writing it and he puts it out. You know? Because there's those, what is it? What's the Jets one? Is it fan-sided or is it
oh no, I know
Jets
which one it
Press?
is.
Yeah. They offered me to write. They reached out. I said, oh, yeah, sure. How much an article? They said $2. I said, fuck you.
Yeah, right. My time's not worth $2. How long is it gonna take you to write an article? 2 minutes? Like that's the only way that's worth it. It's crazy.
Not even.
You gotta have Chat GPT just fucking type up your article for you. $2. Boom, there you go.
Did you hear about Chat GPT? Did you hear what it did? Did you hear this?
I've been using it for a little bit.
Yeah, anything. What does it
Yeah, it
got?
could do anything. Anything since
right.
2021.
ChatGPT,
right?
they were
since before.
testing the AI. They gave it obstacles to see it, firewalls and everything. And it for example, CAPTCHA. You know what I mean? Like when it says, how many fire hydrants do you see?
Yeah.
And it couldn't figure it out. So it couldn't figure it out. But what it did figure out, this is Chat GBT or whatever, CBT, whatever it is. What is it?
Chat THC.
The Chat CBD oil.
Chat DMT, baby.
Sponsored
but
by
what
Skynet.
it did do, it figured out by itself how to solicit a human being to do that for it. Like to go and do this CAPTCHA for me so I can get past it. That's what it did last week.
Dude,
That's smart.
That's a little scary.
AI is going to wipe a ton of stuff out. It's that. Like that's I think that's the biggest scary thing is we're not prepared to lose a massive amount of jobs. Like our whole economy is built on we're going sideways on this, but our whole economy is based on buying stuff.
I'm about to talk about Terminator.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, I love Terminator. Great series. Blitzcrew hops in. I want to see the sad front runner Pats fans walking out after the second quarter from how bad we are stomping them to see who the real fans are. One of my favorite memories of watching the Jets Patriot games are there was a time where the Red Sox and the Yankees were going at it. And I want to say it was during the Mangini years, but it was the Yankees had just stomped Boston and then the Jets were beat. It could have been the Sanchez year, but the whole crowd started chanting, "Who's your daddy?" Who's your dad? And those are the chants that are so fun because it's so I don't know. There's a power in chanting that. Just trying to, I don't know. I enjoyed that, but I would like to see Patriot fans just crumble and cry and have to curl up. I don't know with their security
most
blanket.
Of them will leave. Dude,
Yeah.
most of them will leave.
They're fair weather fans anyway.
Totally. I told you, man, I had I was having an argument in a big business meeting with this Patriot fan. He was talking to me. He was rubbing my face in something. You know how they do it.
Oh, no.
And it was me and him and a Bills fan because it was there's this national company I worked for. So there were people from all over the place. And him and a Bills fan. And he's talking about real fan this and real fan that and get yourself a real team, real. And then he turns to the Bills fan and he goes, "Hey, I think we might play you guys this year. We should do blah, blah." I said, I just looked at the Bills fan. We went, that was it.
Yeah. A nod. You knew what it meant.
I never even met this guy. Right. This guy's so full of shit. He's a fair weather fan. He's got boatloads of money and he just likes rubbing people's face and dog shit. That's what he does.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't know. I think we might play you. Oh, you think?
Maybe.
Yeah, you should check that.
Possibly twice.
Maybe, right. Maybe even we'll do something really weird and play each other twice. Wouldn't that be?
One at your place, one at our place.
A third time.
Yeah, one home and one away. That's genius.
Magic. But it was funny, man. I never met I've known him. I knew him for maybe an hour in the meeting, and I had a 10-minute conversation with the Bills fan. We turned to each other and went, it was this little nod of recognition. Yes, I hate your team. Yes, you hate mine. But this guy's a this guy's a blowout.
This guy sucks.
This guy's an idiot. And that's, I run into, not that every Patriot fan is, of course, right? But a lot of them are, dude.
Guy's an idiot.
Oh, that's my favorite drop.
That is good. Who is that?
That is Baker Mayfield on the sideline. They handed him was it Stefanski or whoever it was, handed him, a play or a tablet, just talking to him. He walks away. Baker turns to his teammate or his coach or whatever sitting next to him and goes, "Guy's an idiot." They caught it on mic'd up or something. So I was like, gotta save it as a drop. It's not even a Jet one, but just one of my favorite things.
Yeah, it's good.
Knob Craft drops in. Knob, how many friggin' usernames do you have? Because I've seen a zillion Knobcraft, slob on my Knobcraft, and
Chode
the knob. Like I feel like the sequel or whatever. He says prices were going up either way. Inflation, baby. Woody just gave us the incentive, or at least a preemptive apology with Rogers. Yeah, boo. Maybe. I mean, look, they were going to go up either way. Prices never come down. That's just how stuff works. But I definitely think
twice in 1 year, dude.
I think there was a push from outside forces, whether that be Woody or the NFL, because of the schedule, because of how much money is on the line for it to get done. And the draft picks matter less from a financial revenue standpoint overall. And I'm thinking of it more like a business than I am thinking about the competitive side of things, because I think Douglas and Saleh would have been fine waiting till training camp, because that's what it seemed like at the owners' meeting. They seemed like they had no rush whatsoever. And then this just kind of knee-jerk reaction kind of happened. So, I don't know. Slugo hops in. He says, to have a booming circus, you gotta pay the freaks. That's
right.
I've never heard that, but yeah, okay. So Quinnan's our freak. You gotta pay him, right? I like it.
That's great. That's
an interesting one. I've never heard that one.
That's why Ringling Brothers they closed down. They had to take the freaks away. Nobody liked it. Nobody wanted that. Nobody wanted
do that anymore. Well, now you can't have. Now I saw. Are they doing hologram circuses or something like that? Because it's you can't have like the really bad treatment of like animals and stuff, like the way they like locked up elephants and stuff. And I haven't been to a circus in fucking forever. I don't even know when last time I've been to a circus.
I got really lucky. I used to see Ringling Brothers every year they came around. We'd go to either Bern, which whatever, Izod, whatever it is now. We'd go there, or we'd go to the Garden. And but I got really lucky. The last year that Ringling Brothers came around, I took my kids, and I didn't even know it. They didn't announce like our final year. They didn't do that. They just did a tour, and I just said, "Hey, let me take my kids to the circus." My kids loved it, and then 6 months later, it was like that was it. I was like, "Whoa!" So I'm glad I did that. Circuses are great, dude.
My parents actually live down in Florida, and I think it's Ringling Brothers.
Yeah, Ringling, Florida.
Well, no, they live. My parents live in Sarasota, but I think I'm pretty sure like the headquarters or where it all started is like right down there, because we've driven past it before. It's actually kind of cool. I think it's Ringling Brothers.
I think the town is called Ringling. Wait, hold on. Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's right next to Sarasota. Hold on.
Okay, so that makes sense then.
Yeah, the Ringling. I don't know. Ringling, Florida. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's where the Ringling Brothers are from. Like it all started there. And that's where their headquarters is and all that. Must be cool. You've seen it?
I've never been inside of it. I've driven past it because like, I don't know. I've never had a reason to go inside. Yeah, well, look at that. That's cool.
Pretty much.
I used to want to go to clown college when I was an idiot.
I feel like you would be a fantastic clown, but like that clowns are creepy as hell. Creepy as hell.
Like Steve-O. Steve-O went to clown college.
Yeah.
Is that where he got his name? Like, did Steve-O was he like the clown Steve-O? And then like that's where he got his nickname? Or did he become Steve-O because of Jackass?
I don't know, but I know he went to clown school and that's where he got like his stunt training and all that shit.
My favorite clown.
I wanted to go.
My favorite clown is Cam from Modern Family.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
I love Cam.
Yeah,
well, I don't remember what his friggin'. I don't remember Bozo the clown or. Oh, what the hell was the name of it? Was it Bozo? You guys have to let us know in the chat if you remember what Cam's clown alter ego is.
Fizbo.
There
we go. I Googled it.
It's so creepy. My dad showed me when I was younger, we watched Attack of the Killer Clowns. It's such like a B-rate, horror movie, but it's so campy and good and like entertaining. But clowns are they're creepy in general. Oversized feet, bigger nose, crazy hair, wild makeup, playing with kids, terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. I don't think I'd ever hire a clown for like Shay's birthday.
No, God, no.
No. Balloon animals, fine. Totally cool balloon animals. Make some swords and dogs and things like that.
You could have some random
Just a guy.
You don't have to be dressed up as a clown to do that.
No.
Magician or clown? It's magician.
Ooh,
right?
magician. Magician, hands down. Yeah, hands down. That's the coolest stuff. I love watching, like, I used to watch all the different, like, how-to magic stuff, like, behind the scenes growing up. Like, oh, wow, that's so, I can't believe they did that. Magic
Like
stuff.
remember the Chris Angel show, Mind Freak?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I used
yeah.
to love that thing, man.
Have you ever seen, oh, God, I don't know if it's Funny or Die or it was one of those where it was like, it was like a spoof of David Blaine. I was like, oh, David Blaine put me on the roof. He put me on the roof. He's like, what's in your cup? Orange soda. Well, you know what else is orange? Cheez-Its. What else is in your drink? Oh, it's just orange soda. Cheez-Its. And then like Cheez-Its pour out of it. Oh my God.
I love that stuff.
Early YouTube. Some of the early YouTube stuff was great. The Numa Numa guy was fantastic for like a hot minute. Now I feel like I'm getting old because YouTube's been around for like 15, almost 20 years now, I guess. Probably 2004, 2005.
You remember YouTube? Wasn't YouTube made by Tom, the same guy that
No, that was
made MySpace?
Oh, I don't know. I actually don't know that. Yeah, that was like my first exposure to YouTube was probably 2004 or 5. It was actually the Philip DeFranco show. Fun fact, that's actually sort of what I modeled my show kind of ish after. Like, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, kind of neat. Try to take a lot of inspiration from some of the other successful channels that are different than what we do. It's like, hey,
Yeah,
I watch this.
Anderson.
Why do I watch this? Really? So was Tom from MySpace created YouTube?
Let me see. Founder
Ooh,
of
Mikey Mouse
MySpace
says
and
DeFranco's
YouTube.
from Brooklyn. DeFranco is also a Jet fan.
Who
Fun
is?
fact. Philip DeFranco from the Philly D Show.
Who's Philly D?
PDS. Philip DeFranco Show. I actually, when I was in college, I bought one of his monkey business posters, and it was like a chimp in like a business suit. I was like, monkey business. I like this. This guy's got my sense of humor.
Look at this guy, Tom. He made MySpace.
Blitzcrew says Ringling Brothers will be in Philadelphia in February.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you probably don't have the bearded lady though, or like, some of the fun stuff. Phil says Ryan, Matt, Greenbean, can you guys explain to me why they made such a big deal years ago about Sanchez eating a hot dog on the sideline? So dumb. It's because we're the Jets, and it's kind of funny to watch your quarterback eat a hot dog on the sideline.
Yeah, where'd you get it?
It's like, where did you find that, dude? Like, someone just handed you a hot dog. I don't care that he eats it. I just thought it was more funny than anything else.
Oh, what? Wasn't he out of the game already at that point too? They blew him out.
It was the Oakland game, so it was.
Yeah, we killed it that game, didn't we?
I honestly
did we
don't
lose?
remember. No, I don't remember.
They won 38. They won 38-0. He was out of the game. He threw 16 passes.
What would be better?
I mean-
What's the best food you could have eaten on the sideline? Was hot dog like too odd of a food to consume?
Yeah, he
Like,
probably
was
just
a
said
sub
to
better?
someone. Well, he probably said to someone, "Look, dude, I'm starving. Can you go grab me something? I don't give a shit what it is. Knish,
Yeah.
sausage, popcorn." And they went to the concessions and they grabbed 2 hot dogs. That's what happened.
Yeah, probably.
There's a big story though, huge.
Man, it's still, I know you still see it because it's odd. Like, can you think of any other quarterback that did that?
No,
Can
not
you
at
think
all.
of any other quarterback that picked his nose and wiped it on the backup quarterback in the middle of a game?
I think
in
that's
the
also
AFC
hysterical.
Championship game. Not just any game. It was the championship game.
Was it?
I think, yeah, it was in Pittsburgh.
That's so funny. I don't
No,
remember.
wait a minute.
I don't
Let
remember
me see.
when it
It was
happened,
against
but I remember it
Pittsburgh.
happening.
Maybe it was the regular season in Pittsburgh. It was definitely against Pittsburgh. It very well could have been the championship game.
That's really funny. That's so good.
Mark Sanchez Booger.
I
White.
really liked Sanchez. I wish Sanchez was better because he was like when he was on, he was a fun quarterback to watch. There were a few games that were like, wow, this is the first time that I've seen like a quarterback that we drafted that was really slinging it like in a fun capacity. But then he'd go and throw like 4 interceptions and like 2 pick sixes and just cripple your team.
Dude, he's such a douche. I'm watching it right now. What an asshole. Brunell looks down. He just kind of like, what was that? And just kind of blows it off. But it's like,
It 100% is the championship game. Want to
It
know
is.
why my weird brain knows that? Because in the regular season, Brad Smith returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. So the Jets would have already been up 7-0 at that point in the time that it happened. Boom, knowledge dropped. Let's go.
There you go. Credit where it's due. So this was
Matt
in the
has a
first
wealth
quarter.
of knowledge for booger picking, wiping
That's
on
right.
players' timeline.
Dumb shit.
You're
640
100% accurate right now. 1 for 1.
Yeah. Well, look, it was 6:41 left in the first quarter. On that drive, it was 2nd and 5. Pittsburgh had already rushed 9 times, 4 passes for 58 yards, and had an 8-minute and 19-second drive going. And Mark Sanchez is wiping boogers on his backup quarterback. That's what's going on.
We had a weird. The whole Rex era was like a very odd. The foot fetish thing, the tattoo,
Dude.
the like. There was just
It was a
so much
fever
that was
dream.
like, man. Yeah, it was a fever dream. That's exactly what it was. It was like, wow, we made it to the championship game 2 years in a row, and we had no idea we were going to do that. And then like, foot and mouth jokes, butt fumble, hot dogs, fucking everything. We're a weird franchise.
My absolute favorite, which I think is criminally underrated and doesn't get talked about enough, but in the 2014 season, they went to San Diego and got their doors blown off. And earlier that week, Gino missed a meeting because he said he didn't understand the time zone difference, and he was at the
yes.
meeting. That is an underrated LOL Jets moment. That gets me every time. I think that's hilarious.
It's such a bad one because everyone's got a cell phone and everyone's phone freaking updates. And it's not even like that old. The 2014 is like, it's like, dude, that's like the Jamarcus Russell. We put a blank tape together. Did you watch the tape? Oh yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Okay, you did not watch the tape. That's how that feels.
Yeah, you know who reported that one? Matt.
Oh,
Cimini.
did he?
Yeah. Reported by by Rich Cimini. Smith got confused by the whole Eastern Pacific time zone thing. Smith and a few teammates opted to go to a movie, and they were, quote, messed up by the 3-hour difference.
That feels like
not.
something you do in like middle school or high school. Like, oh, sorry, I overslept. I
man.
didn't realize that my alarm clock was not set appropriately. I say middle school because I didn't have a cell phone in middle school that automatically updated my time. So that was actually a thing at that point in time, which I still don't understand why we do. I don't understand why we still do daylight savings time.
Well, daylight saving is that's ending soon, supposedly. Supposedly they're going to vote on it.
I don't know if that's actually true. I thought spring was supposed to be the last one, but I haven't heard anything since.
Yeah, well, they got
We got to adopt the Arizona train of thought. That makes way more sense. Yeah, let's just not
totally.
do it.
Remember do you guys remember when I was in Arizona? I was on the Arizona-Utah border.
Yeah,
we
you're
were
like,
trying
oh,
to
it's
do shit.
time
Like
travel.
when I had the lake behind me, remember?
Yeah.
Yep.
And they kept changing. Like I was right on the border. So if I went like 100 feet that way, it was 4 o'clock. I was over here, it's 3 o'clock. And I was like, hey, what time is it? Like my phone is fucking freaking. I didn't know. I'm like, what time is the stream? I have no idea what time it is right now. None. You guys are like, oh yeah, it's this time or whatever. But
Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry, you're good. Listen to this. Mike Garafolo reported, Gino said, I counted down instead of up when it came down to calculating each.
Oh my God! He just got paid like $60 million, didn't he? Or more than that now.
We
Jesus
should have
Christ.
cut Gino. Remember that shit last year?
God damn it!
Like, didn't you just say to fucking cut, Becton?
Everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, cut him. Michael Carter sucks. We should have kept Gino. Like, I can't do this one.
We got the best
I counted
trolls.
down instead of up. That's all.
Still gets me. That's my
There's no
favorite
assistant.
Oh, I thought I was going to be a top pick in the first round. No, you're a top pick in the second round, Gino. Sit down. Didn't even bring a second
Will
suit.
Levis.
Yeah.
one. Yeah, same with Will. That's right.
That
Yeah,
sucks,
exact
though.
same
He was
situation.
the only guy sitting there, man. That sucks.
Yeah, that's got to be embarrassing. Especially because you have so much confidence that you think you're going to go high. Especially like when he had like that whole Reddit thread that was like, oh yeah, I'm going, going one. And then all the betting odds shifted and things got thrown around. Whatever. KD says, "Hey Matt, Ryan, Greenbean, have you guys talked about the Jets rumored to play on Christmas?" I hope that's not true. I don't want to play on the holidays. Like Matt said earlier, if we're playing on Thanksgiving, like I don't want to have to do content on Thanksgiving.
No. Well, next Sunday, or not, sorry, this upcoming season, Christmas is on a Monday. So technically, there's going to be games Christmas Eve on Sunday, I would imagine. Are there Saturday games at that point? I like this.
There could be Saturday games too. I don't mind Christmas Eve. I mean, I still don't want to do content on Christmas Eve, but like, it's better than Christmas Day, I feel like.
Okay, here's a good Christmas Eve Matt O'Leary Jets story. Christmas Eve 2016. Hang on, let me give you the exact score of this game. The 2016 Jets played the New England Patriots on Christmas Eve and lost 41-3 with, I believe it was Bryce Petty starting. Mm-hmm. I was so incredibly hungover that Christmas Eve. I think that was like a top 5 drunkest I ever was the night before. But I slept through like the first quarter of that game. Obviously did not miss much. Oh, at the time I was 21.
Oh, okay. I was counting down. I was like, wait a second.
Yeah. Yeah. That was that one I will never forget, watching 41-3 hungover.
That's brutal. Shit. I don't remember that game. I'm glad I don't. I remember playing with Bryce Petty. I watched one. I was actually down in Florida. We met up with like a Jets like club at one of the bars, and there was like probably 80 Jet fans there. And I was like, wow, this is really cool because everyone's cheering and chanting. I was like, wow, I would have never thought I'd find this in a different spot other than like, you know, New York, New Jersey. And that was my first exposure to like other area Jet fans. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I'll tell you what, that season, you want to know the truth? I didn't watch one Jets game that whole season.
You're lucky.
Protest. Yeah, by choice. I said, nope, I'm not doing it.
That was the year they re-signed Fitz, right? Yes. I think that was the year after. Like, that was when he held out and the Jets didn't really have a good option at quarterback. Like, you weren't going to draft someone.
I said, you're going to hold us hostage after throwing 5 picks or whatever the hell it was and against Rex?
That sucked. And you knew exactly, like, it was always going to be Fitz. Like, there was no other option. Because I think that was the year we drafted Darren Lee, right? So that was like, we had to, like you weren't we tried to trade up for Wentz. That wasn't actually going to happen. And, like, yeah, Jets were just screwed. There was no shot.
You know what I did? There was one, I was living down there, right, in Florida. And I don't know. I was like playing video games or something on a Sunday, and I just you know, I turned it off, and on my TV it said Jets Dolphins because I was down there. It was just on TV, so I was like, let me see. I turned it on. The Jets were up, and I said, well, I could stand to witness a victory. You know what I mean? And within 2, 3, 4 minutes, the Dolphins scored. I went, nope, they're not doing it to me. I fucking shut it off and the Jets lost. Like, no, dude. I was in protest that year. I didn't watch one full game, not one game. That was the only football I watched. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's definitely been years where I've been so disappointed and so, like, could not get amped up for certain games. And that was one of those years because you knew it was smoke and mirrors the year before, and like Fitz holding you hostage was because the team didn't have a quarterback. It was like, okay, you knew he was kind of the guy, and he was going to turn back into a pumpkin at some point. I don't know.
Yeah, 2016 Jets have to be up there for one of my least favorite Jets teams that I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, at least the Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson year, it was like you're rooting to like get the quarterback. Like 2016, that wasn't the case. I don't even know who the quarterbacks were in 2017.
Mahomes, Watson, oh my God. Who'd the Bears take?
Trubisky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the year the Jets were like, we need leadership. Jamal Adams is the guy. And we took Hackenberg the year before, so we're afraid to take Mahomes or Watson. And we're looking at the draft the next year, which honestly, that year, I did endorse, like, okay, if you don't buy that Mahomes or Watson is the guy and you believe in Hackenberg, which I don't think they actually believed in Hackenberg. I think they didn't want to admit fault in drafting Hackenberg, and that was the bigger issue, which wound up being like the big no. But
Well,
I
here-
understood if you believed in Hackenberg and you saw like the next year was going to be Lamar and Darnold and Baker and Rosen and Allen, like I'm okay with passing on the quarterback in that sort of situation. But like they definitely hid that they didn't like Hackenberg, and that was the big no.
The thing is, Bowles and Maccagnan were not on the same page. Maccagnan believed in Hackenberg. Bowles did not.
Yeah, I could
Bowles,
believe it.
I'm not playing this guy. He did it out of protest. Very similar to like when the second that Maccagnan was fired, Adam Gase traded Darren Lee for a 6th. Same thing. It's like, screw you.
Yeah.
They didn't like the guy.
Did I ever tell you? I think I told you guys that the reason the Jets took Hackenberg was because Jeremy Bates was called in. There was a mystery phone call, and he said, I really like Hackenberg. And that's why Bates was brought in the year after to be the offensive coordinator, because they were trying to fix Hackenberg because he was the one that liked him.
Gross. Wasn't he on the side of a mountain? Why the hell did that?
He was.
Who cares?
Yeah.
I saw him
This
twice on
is
the show.
actual insider information. Yeah, I don't think it was ever actually reported that way, but like I know
don't buy
someone.
that, though. I don't buy it.
I'll tell you after the show, but I do know. I know that
think
to be
I
fact.
remember. I don't know. I just struggled to buy that one because then they would have played him.
Frank comes in, says, hopes our first game is in primetime versus the Patriots. How about you? I do. I want to exercise the demons. I don't care if it's in Pittsburgh. I would like the Jets-Pats game to not be, neutral site. I hope I don't mind if it's in New England. I'm kind of on the let's hope the home opener is week 2 because I would like to go to the home opener and have Green Bean available for the home opener. I would like to go. I can't commit to it right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, I want to go. I want to do the Coney Island Cyclone. I want to do pizza. We're going to pick a new pizza place this year in Brooklyn.
Ooh.
Some good.
When do you
'cause
normally, is that
L&B
usually around week 1 or like whenever you
the
come up for
same.
the game, you mean?
Yeah, like I come up on. You know what we might do too. Last year we talked about it, but this year, if we're able to do it, we're going to do a comedy show this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll get back on stage with my old crew, the Bag of Nuts.
I like
that.
that.
My guy. Let me tell you something, man. A guy in my crew. His name is Dave Cyrus. They have the new show out, Bupkis. Anybody see this show? If you guys haven't seen it on Peacock, it's so good. It's so good. It takes place in Staten Island, and it's so good. It's got Joe Pesci and Pete Davidson and everything. But my buddy wrote it, and he's in it. He's in episode 3. He's the guy. He's the kid with the glaive, the Klingon sword, if you haven't seen it. Anyway, he was in my group, the Bag of Nuts, years ago. So we might do a Bag of Nuts reunion like on Friday night. Saturday, we do Coney Island Cyclone in Brooklyn. And then Sunday, we go to the game and do that whole thing. So, but we're going to switch it from LMB this year. I see, right, Mikey Mouse. I think LMB, as great as it is, I like it. But I believe that it's a bit on the overrated side. Like, I like real Brooklyn pizza, which is like well done, round, thin, crispy, almost,
I like a good crunch.
Yeah,
like a
it's
well
got to
done
have
bottom.
a crunch, but it can't snap. You know what I mean? Like it's got to be fucking.
Yep.
There's a perfection with Brooklyn pizza. And you can find most Brooklyn, honestly, man, I would say 9 out of 10 pizzerias in Brooklyn. If you just happen upon it, you're going to be stoked. There's very hard to find bad pizza unless you go to Sbarro. Something like that.
Yeah, you can't go to a chain place.
Mama Sbarro, ketchup on egg noodles. It's like
That's gross.
but anyway, yeah, I think so. I'd like to do that. Boba Jet says can't stand Pete Davidson. Well, the funny thing about that show is it's about that. It's about how people can't stand him and who he is. It's funny. It's a funny show, man. But anyway, my buddy wrote it and he's in it. Episode 4, you'll see my friend Dave. He's the guy doing the slap contest, and he's fucking funny. But he's a great comedian. So anyway, I'm going to try to put all that together. But like Ryan said, we don't know what week it's going to be. It can't. If it's opening day, if opening day is our home opener, then I can't do it. We got to figure something else out.
Now, would you do that if you come back for our own event? That's not.
Yeah.
I think that's
That's
probably
what I
the
would
plan,
do.
right?
if it was ours, like let's say hypothetically we do week 3 against the Commanders or something like that.
Yeah.
I would try like whatever. If we did our thing, I would arrange. And I already reached out to Coney Island. Like I want to do it a little bit different this year. I want to try to get like cooperation. You know what I mean? Because we had like, I don't know, 40 people there last year, 20 something, 22 rode the train. And they were like yelling at us. They were giving us shit and they didn't want us to fill the car. And I said to the guy, dude, clearly we're doing something here. Can you fucking work with us? You know what I mean?
Get the ride attendant on board.
Yeah, man. Like I want to
Grease
bring
the wheels. Give him throw him a 20. Just be like, hey, we want the whole train.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want the whole train. And if I need 2 trains, like it doesn't have to be consecutive. Like if there's other people, like, yeah, man, filter them in. Like let us get our train, put the next people on, give us a turn. But like if we need to do that, like I want to take care of everybody. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to be like, 8 people get the shit train. Oh, we just, or 3 people, they get on the next train. Like they went all the way to Coney Island and they get on the 3 people train. You know what I mean?
Maybe we get 3 of us to go down to Coney Island, and then we can each have our own train.
Well, shit, I've been trying to get you there for 3 years, Ryan.
I know, I haven't been able to. I know.
That was there.
I'm a bad friend.
Yeah. Dude,
I blew it off too.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to try to work that all out. Like preferably I would like to talk to them about putting like attaching cameras to the train. Or at least being able to have them on my wrist and on my chest like I do at every other damn theme park in the world that I contact. You know what I mean? Like, let me do that.
Yeah,
they were
get
like
the special
mean.
permission.
Yeah, they were mean, dude. They were like, they made me take all my camera. I have like the 4-point chest thing. Yeah. I had it on my fucking head. I had it on, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't want it.
Well, they want to sell
you.
They want to sell you the picture that they take of you at that one moment, and then you try to sneak a picture of the screen while you get off the thing, and they're like, "Hey, you can't do that. You got to actually buy the $50 photo." Jerks.
Yeah, I have to reach out to I already did reach out. I got in touch with a lady for what is it called? Dino's Wonder Wheel? Is that what it is? That's who? No, it's not the Wonder Wheel side. It's the other one. I want to say fucking Astroland Park, but that's not it. I just forget. But
let's go to Six Flags. Let's go ride El Toro. Woo!
Dude, if you guys want to do a Six Flags, we can do that too. It doesn't have to be the Cyclone. Believe me when I tell you, I'll jump at going to Great Adventure with everybody. If we did that.
Dude, I really like Six Flags for like El Toro and Nitro and all their coasters are awesome. I've never been to Coney Island though, so I would totally do that too.
The thing with Coney Island is that it's Coney Island. You know what I mean? It's like legendary. You know what I mean? But I'd never been on the Jersey Devil coaster at Six Flags.
I don't know where that one would be. Because isn't it all like superhero? Is it really?
No, it's right behind Nitro. They took out there was a secondary kids land over there. You know where it's like right behind.
I haven't been there in a while. It's probably like 6 years since I've been.
Oh yeah. Well, Jersey Devil's a single rail coaster. It's the longest single rail in the world.
My favorite time to go
this year. There's one that beats it.
You got to go Monday through Thursday. You get the fast pass or whatever it's called, and you get all the kids that are on their school buses sitting in the slow person lane, and you're like, ha ha, we're going to zip to the front of the line. All the kids are like, no, how are they cutting the line? We're like, extra $50 or whatever it is, or $60, worth it. Worth its weight in gold.
You got to just,
and then you run around again. You're like, ha ha, I'm going to go a second time. You're standing on line. And then they get sad.
Yeah, I'm in. Hey, look, man, I was a member of I just canceled my membership to Six Flags a couple years ago. Oh no, not a couple months ago. But yeah, man. I mean, dude, I would go to every Six Flags. When you get certain memberships, like I was a Diamond Elite, we would get 2 free fast passes per ticket every year. And then I would get there. Like I know how to work the system. Like I have a system at theme parks. Like everybody, if you get there on time, you get there when it starts. Everybody gets caught up in the first 3 rides. Everybody, they all fight for I run to the back of the park and I work forward against the crowd. So the crowd goes this way and I work. So I do the whole back of the park. And then once the crowd catches me, I start using fast passes. You know what I mean?
Beck and I did that for Disney. We had
I'm
a
good
park
at it,
hopper
dude.
pass, and we're like, hey, we got this park hopper, so we can go to all the different parks in one day. How are we gonna like best utilize our time? And we're like, yo, let's go to Magic Kingdom first because all the parents are going with all the kids in the strollers, and they're gonna be slow, and we're gonna zip through everything there, and we're gonna end at Epcot so we can drink around the world and do the fireworks and everything. It's a great idea. Yeah.
Hey, 𝐒𝐫𝐲 is in there saying we should go to Lake Compounce. That's in Connecticut. You guys know about Lake Compounce?
No,
No,
what
I've
is
never
this?
heard of that.
Hey, 𝐒𝐿𝐲, you know what the most famous thing to ever happen at Lake Compounce is? Do you know? Two things, really, but the most famous. Like, there's one where Axl Rose never showed up to the show or ran off the stage, told everybody to go to hell after one song. That happened at Lake Compounce. But there's something bigger. Anybody know? Anybody remember? It's fucking ridiculous.
Do you want to let the chat try to figure it out before you say it? Or do you want to say it? All right.
I want to see if 𝐒𝐿𝐲 knows. He doesn't know. He goes, Guns N' Roses, Jet Freely. He never showed. Right. Okay, you got it. It's in that ballpark, just so you know. It's musical. Don't everybody look it up, you bunch of fucking cheaters. I see you.
I know what you're Googling. I've seen your search history. You're disgusting.
Right,
I can't believe you would Google that.
I don't know what you said. I don't know it. Everybody knows now. You know what I mean? Everybody could know. I don't know.
Your internet provider
What is it?
is frowning on you. Yeah, what is it, Green?
I'm going to tell because nobody's got it. Nobody's got it. That was the place where Milli Vanilli got busted for fake singing. Remember the two good-looking dudes that, girl, you know it's true. They were huge. And then all of a sudden, like something happened and the tape kept running. And they got busted. And then they found out they weren't even singing on the album. Like it's two totally different singers. And these were just good-looking dudes that ran around the stage.
Just lip syncing.
And lip syncing. Yeah, that was Lake Compounce. Now, Lake Compounce has one of the world's greatest wooden coasters. It's called Boulder Dash. Now, when I was there, somebody literally lost their bowels in the seat of Boulder Dash. And my video, I'm gonna
the brown note.
I'm gonna link my video in the chat. Okay, I caught it. No, I didn't catch.
I remember this video. I think I remember watching it.
I've never heard of this.
I didn't catch the mess, but I caught the cleanup and the whole thing. So what they had to do. So we were like waiting online and the whole fucking thing. But it's like it's won like best wooden coaster in the world like 9 times. It's like it's an amazing coaster. But yeah. And they have a campground, so it's so great. And you just fucking stay there overnight. You camp, you walk over. It's the best. It's the best park. It's such a good small.
Oh, dude, I really like wooden coasters. That's why I like El Toro. Like the wooden coaster, there's something fun about a wooden coaster.
Won best wooden coaster many times. Not as many as Boulder Dash though, but a few times as well. All right, I'm gonna put this shit in there, man.
I've only shit my pants twice on that coaster. It's not a trend.
Okay. It's not a trend. It's just it happens.
It just happens occasionally.
Whoever it was, let me tell you something. Like if it was a little girl or if it was a big dude, like nobody knows. Whoever it was got up and bounced.
Oh, you don't sit around and just
you go home. That's it.
Like I gotta leave.
They left right away. All right, here it is. I found it. What happens when someone poops on a roller coaster? Here it is.
I've definitely never seen this.
I'm putting the link in there. There it is, everybody. The link is in there. It's not inappropriate. You'll see. I do a good job. I'm not I'm not one of those people. I talk.
I'll pin it in the live chat. There you go.
There it is. It's there. If you want to watch it.
Oh God.
There's a couple Lake Compounce videos. Then I have another one in Lake Compounce. They have a beautiful white wooden coaster that is literally the roughest coaster I've ever been on. And I filmed my ride on there, and it is brutal. I can't even deal. I'm like, it's brutal.
I wish I could turn that into a drop. That's amazing.
I actually slow it down, and you hear me go, what the fuck? Oh, it's great. I gotta pay more attention to this channel. I just stopped doing anything. I have tons of content for this channel.
Yankee Doodle, shut up over there. The Badger Trio. He says NFL is also going to do a Black Friday game this year, which sucks, as that day has a lot of college games on. Yeah, man, I don't know. I didn't hear about that. The NFL doing that. That kind of sucks a little bit. Max's NY Jets says, thoughts on schedule prediction: Jets Giants week 1 Monday Night Football, Jets versus Chiefs week 3 425, Jets versus Raiders week 4 425. Yeah, maybe. I mean, the West Coast games are always going to be 425, but it's the Chiefs game is a Jets home game. So I guess it could, I mean, maybe it's 425 because of like their fan base, right?
Well,
is Jets Raiders home, or is Jets, I think Raiders is away.
Raiders is away. Chiefs is home, but you can't, I could totally see that being the CBS game of the week with Nance and I almost said Phil Simms, Tony Romo on the call. I could see it.
Mm-hmm. El Veraldo drops in and says, Klingon sword is called a, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that right, Batleth? Matt, how does that word get pronounced? BAT''LETH. Batleth.
I don't know. What is a Klingon sword?
Klingon's the friggin' Star Trek, right?
It's a glaive.
Language.
It's funny because they make. You guys can't hear me yet? Am I still?
I can hear you.
You're back.
You can now. Yeah, we should have just pretended Creepy was
Why
still
did you
muted.
bounce me? Too much non-Jet shit. Is that what's going on? I had a minute to think about it. I'm like, man, I was talking about fucking Star Trek and roller coasters and turds. What am I even doing?
All the best stuff.
It was all the great things. Yeah, this is why we started this channel, so we can do that in one spot.
I forgot to tell you, my buddy Dave also, speaking of the glaive, he also wrote King of Staten Island. There's a fantastic Jets joke in King of Staten Island. If you haven't seen it, with Bill Burr. Have you guys seen that joke?
Yeah, they're never back or whatever, right? They're never going to come back or something like that.
He said, he goes, I knew you were a loser when you bet on the Jets. Nobody bets on the Jets. And he goes, they're going to fucking come back, Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Turn it around.
Like, they never come back. Yeah. Yep.
It's so funny, man.
I love Burr. He's one of my favorite comedians, I think. I got to see, who's his buddy? The guy that's always on Rogan.
Which one?
Bigger guy. 2 guys, 1 cave or whatever. What the fuck's his name?
Segura.
Segura. Dude, Segura's friggin' funny.
Right.
Dude, he's good. His melted cheese joke is one of my favorite jokes of all time. If you guys haven't seen the melted cheese joke, you gotta check out the melted cheese joke. Everaldo comes in and says, Green Bean, purify yourself in lake compounds. I don't think I understand what that means.
Well, from the bad experience on Boulder Dash, I would imagine.
There
Turds. Yeah. I'm in. I love it.
Just looking through the chat, seeing if anyone's got. Oh, look at Jay-Z, Jets fan. I love this stream. You guys are awesome.
Thank you, Jay-Z.
Look at this guy. That looks like Vin Diesel in his avatar, where he's just some Jack Jets fan. I'm going to pretend you're some Jack Jets fan. There you go.
Jack Jets fan. Jacked.
Let's see. We got 8 minutes left. Guys, make sure you hit that like button. Green Bean, you should be picking qualifiers. We're talking about
He's been doing
everything but football tonight.
I got I got most of the super chats, but there weren't. We had a quiet night, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll pick a few winners. Give me a minute. I'll pick some winner. Dakota, you're in the qualifier. Here we go.
Chris says, Ryan, you're bright red. Yeah, I get bright red when I start laughing and drinking. It happens. I'm a very pink individual. Yeah, it's the Irish in us. Yes. We think Green Bean's Irish too. He thought he was Italian, but
I did.
He's not.
But I'm Irish and Scottish and Portuguese. I knew I was Portuguese. I kept that. Portuguese and cool. Swedish and fucking.
I'm 3% Nordic, and I was like, wow, I'm 3% beautiful. That's what it is. I had no idea.
I'm 3% beautiful.
I'll take hilarious. I'll take 3% beautiful. 100%.
Right. 97% other than beautiful.
Yeah, just slightly not. beautiful.
Slightly not beautiful. That's good.
Rich L says, can get some New Haven pizza after Lake Compounds. I thought you were saying compound. I didn't realize you were saying compounds.
Yeah, Compounds. You know what I did from Lake Compounds? There's another little place that's about an hour away. I forget. They have another little, it's a little one, but it's a fun-ass little wooden coaster I had to get on for my coaster credit. I forget the name of that place. It was like an hour from Lake Compounds. Or maybe that was, I don't know. Whatever. Lake Compounds is good. Good place.
Dark Soldier says he saw Tom Segura live. He's hysterical. I got to see Segura in Morristown, New Jersey, a few years ago. 6 years ago? 7 years ago? He is very funny. I love watching stand-up. It's so good. That's probably my favorite thing to watch on like Netflix. Like they have all those extra shows and whatnot. But, I could sit down and watch like Comedy Central Presents, and they rip through like a whole bunch of different, stand-up acts. I used to be able to watch those nonstop. Now Instagram or like any fast social media interaction where it's like, oh, here's a bit, here's a bit, here's a bit, here's a bit. Like, whoops, there goes 20 minutes of my time. Ooh.
You know what?
Man,
I'm going to
I always
start
forget
making coaster podcasts. Everybody wants to ask me about coasters. I got to bring that back.
When's the last coaster video you've done?
It's been about, at least a year. The last one I did, I think, was
The poop?
Cedar Point. And nobody watched it. I got like 200 views. What, you all right?
Yeah, I'm just spitting up because Matt said poop. It made me smile.
The poop? Oh, yeah, the poop.
Poop's such a funny word. It's a palindrome, right? P-O-O-P.
It is. It is. Unless you say poopy.
Poopy. Yeah, it's not. It has
Poopy
to be.
ruins. Poopy ruins everything.
Poopy ruins a lot of stuff, I guess.
That's so good.
How many qualifiers we got, Green Bean, over there?
I don't know. I forgot to do it again. Let me see. I was doing it. Let me get one more.
Sometimes we get sidetracked on stuff.
It happens.
Yeah, I started talking about coasters with people.
Green White Delicious says Jeselnik is the best. Have you guys watched Anthony Jeselnik at all? The first time I heard his name, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And then I was like, oh, this guy's actually really funny. Yeah, he's pretty, like a tall, skinny guy.
I haven't watched his special, but like you said, I've seen his social videos come up on TikTok or Instagram.
I think he's one of the guys that normally does the roasts. Roasts are great. When you get a good celebrity that they roast. I thought the Bieber roast was really funny. I thought the what was the Seth Rogen one? James Franco. The James Franco roast was great.
Oh yeah.
That was a really funny one.
Dude, come on with this. I don't know. Something just happened. I deleted everything.
Oh no.
I don't know how, dude. I don't know. I don't know how that happened. Everything deleted. I don't know. I can't find it. Let me see here. Why would that ever happen? Quit. I'm going to quit and start over. Hold on. Quitting usually works. I've learned throughout my life. Quitting.
Hard reset. That helps most things. Every time I call IT at the resort, I'm like, yo, this thing's not working. They're like, well, did you reset it? Fuck you. Okay, yeah, yes, I reset it. That was the first thing I did. And then they're like, well, try it again. And they're like, oh, yeah, okay, it worked. Damn it.
Turn it back on.
Yeah. Turn off, turn back on. That's what I do when I have bad days. I just got to shut it off today. Let's do a hard reset. Try it tomorrow. Rico the Pup says, I saw Bill Burr live in Detroit. He was amazing. He ripped the city so hard. You guys sold the Silver Dome for $12,000. What the fuck was going on in Pontiac? I love Bill Burr. I could sit and listen to him. He might be my favorite comedian. I really like. Phil says Jim Gaffigan. I got to meet Jim Gaffigan. He came out. It's funny. I met him. I was working at Mountain Creek at the time. I was working in the rental department, and him and his 4 kids came in, and they're running around nonstop. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's the Hot Pockets guy. It's Jim Gaffigan. And I was like, oh, how was everything? He's like, oh, everything's great. I was like, oh, are these all the skis you need? He says, I think I lost a kid in the parking lot. I'm all good. And then he walks out, and it was just like, that's everything I want out of like a comedian interaction. Like just enough, like I'm not trying to get like a lot of info out of you, just a little subtle one-liner. Makes me smile.
All right, I got it. All right. Jesus. Good time filler, everybody. Mountain Creek. You ever been to it when it was Action Park, Ryan? Are you old enough for that?
It went back to Action Park. Yeah, it was. Well, now it's not anymore. Now it went. So yeah. In short, my pro shop sells an Action Park novel because the owners of my resort used to be the owners of Mountain Creek, and now it's. Now we sell like a little Action Park book. They had an HBO documentary on. I think they call it Class Action Park, I think was the name of the documentary.
Was on, I forget, right. Is it on HBO? I thought.
Yeah, it was really good. I know some of the people that were in it because they're still involved. Funny. Not at Creek, but they're involved at like other stuff.
Yeah, because I remember it that way. Like I almost died in that wave pool with no exaggeration. Like I had.
It's terrifying. I've been in it, and it's like it's not fun. When they get the waves going, there's a lot of people that don't know how to swim.
Yeah, and let me tell you, man, like we didn't know that there could have been better regulations. Like we didn't know. We just thought, okay, it's safe, you know. Every time I was there, and I mean every time I was there were kids laying around bleeding and shit like that. Every single time. Whether by that damn Alpine slide or over.
Oh, yeah.
The Alpine slide was downright deadly. I mean, it was
you just get burnt up. It's a concrete slide.
They put
like
you on
an e-brake.
Like a dolly. They put you on a dolly with a stick, and they go, go ahead, go down the mountain.
Yeah, have fun. You control the speed. You control the fun, right? Like that was the whole mantra.
Right. You control the fun.
They had the loop-to-loop water slide where people would get stuck in the top of it, come out backwards, missing teeth, and
I've never seen that thing open though, never, and I've been there a bunch of times.
Oh, it's
last time
it's not there anymore.
Action Park.
That hasn't been there in at least 20, 30 years.
Yeah. The last time I was there, it was still there, but I've never seen it open. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I tell you, the last time I was there, I took a bunch of mushrooms and I went.
I'm sure that helped.
Well, yeah, I know. I took a bunch of mushrooms and I went in. They had this water slide in the Roaring Rapids section that it was pitch dark. You know how now they go like they have dark
Cannonball
water
Falls
slides? But you can see in like it's dark.
Oh no, Cannonball Falls is a black tube.
No, not Cannonball. That one's great. That's the one
they got rid of that one now. That's not there anymore.
This was in Roaring Rapids, like that section with that he was reproducing the Colorado River over there. People would fucking clip jump and jump on each other. There was just no one watching anything. It was just like
chaos.
You know,
it was 20-year-old lifeguards. Just like go.
But dude, this slide was so dark and so long that I was like, you know, again, I was on hallucinogen, so it felt like it was like forever. But you could, like now when you do a dark water slide, you can see there's like rings of lights and there's like you can always kind of see. This was pitch black, and you would just poof, and you would flip over on your face. You had no idea, and the next thing you know, you're underwater and like there's feet all around you. You're like, what's happening? Well, yeah, dude, that was my last time at Action Park. Wonderful, wonderful memory, I must say.
Dude, they took a lot of the fun stuff out of Mountain Creek. They had the Tarzan swing was great because you get the people up from the city, and you get up there and you see one of the bigger girls grab onto like the edge of the rope, and you're like, oh, here we go, get the phone out. And they like go to swing, and the arms like extend, the hands slip off, and they just belly flop from 25 feet up. Oh, it was so good, so good. And then you get like some little scrawny kid, and he does like double backflips off of it, and you're like, screw you, like I can't do that. Nope. I have some great memories from there. Cannonball Falls was a great one.
You guys ever do Splish Splash? You ever make the trip to Riverhead, Long Island?
No, I've been to Long Island like a handful of times. I try not to go over
really?
All the bridges. Yeah, I don't have any
totally
family over there.
Okay, that is if anyone from Long Island is in the chat, Splish Splash, the goat.
Is it still there?
Oh yeah, you take it's literally like the Long Island Expressway ends, and there's Splish Splash, and it's like our shitty little water park. That's just like a cult classic.
Yeah, right. It's like It's like it's not like those new places, but it's more fun because it's yours.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I love shit like that, man. I really do.
So we stalled our way until 10 o'clock today.
Yeah, we did.
we've been talking about everything but Jets for like probably the last 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I love going off the rail. I feel like when we go on those like tangents, maybe it's not the best Jets schedule speculation like the title suggests, but it's authentic.
Well, we did it. We talked about that stuff.
And we did talk about that stuff.
How much longer can you talk about a schedule, you know what I mean?
Hey, 64% held strong the entire way. For yes, they would go to a Jets group ticket buy. Talking Jets group ticket buy. We have over 500 votes. So however many 64% of that is.
Now let me ask
At
you
least
guys, all
200.
64% of you, if we added Swedish massage, would that help? Ooh, if we added that, if everybody
Only
gets a
if you
massage.
do it, Green Bean. I want
I'm
like
not
your
Swedish. I am
your
Swedish.
beard.
I can do it.
Yeah, see,
I can do it. I
I'm
can
in.
do Portuguese
I'm
massage too. It's different.
I don't have any tricks I can do. I can't sweeten the pot. I'll
can do
make
3%.
sarcastic comments. My
you go.
3% beautifulness.
beautiful people.
I'll strut through and just be like, oh wow. Whew. I'll whip my hair to the side.
Dude, Edward Ziff, he just asked the question: do they still have the haunted mansion burned down in the 80s?
Oh my god.
Edward Ziff is still trapped in a. Maybe he was with you at the mushroom trip, and he's just like, I'm stuck on mushrooms. I don't know what happened. I forgot about it.
Dude, the haunted
Ed's
mansion.
a good
I
guy.
used to love the haunt. That place scared the shit out of me when I was a kid, man. That and Brigantine Castle. Anybody remember that? Scary, man. But
Brigantine,
anyway.
like down in South Jersey.
Yep. Brigantine Castle was the scariest one. That used to be the whole thing. Like it wasn't a pier. Like there'd be a couple rides, but it was the haunted house that was the main draw. Different era. Like you could do that. Then there was a big fire. There was a fire in the haunted mansion, and then there was the fire at Great Adventure in the haunted house that killed 6 people.
Jeez.
Once that happened, haunted houses sucked. I mean, rightfully so. You know, there was no fucking exits. There was nothing. You know what I mean?
It's
but
terrifying.
anyway.
I was on a haunted hayride. Actually, when I was a kid, not too far from where I'm actually currently living right now, there was a haunted hayride, and like they would have like this chainsaw without the chain on it, and they'd like scare you. And I remember like consoling like a younger. At the time, I was in elementary school, so like younger girl was probably like 3rd grade. It was like one of my classmates' little sisters, and like I was like, "Oh no, it's okay, it's fine." And then like the person comes up with the chainsaw, I'm like, "Ah!" I'm freaking out now. She's freaking out. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm terrified. You're terrified.
That looks real.
Yeah, it sounded real. Terrifying at night. All right. We have gone long enough.
We have.
Boys and girls, it's time to pick some t-shirt t-shirt winner. Who we pick?
Yeah. Not many. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 15. That's what we got tonight. That's it. Ryan, can I hear anybody?
What?
Is it me?
Yeah, I hear you. What was the? I didn't
What?
hear you. Wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. Okay. I was like looking at the YouTube. I'm like, what's happening? I got 15 qualifiers. I didn't keep up for most of the night, so we got 15 tonight. Is that cool?
All right. That's fine. I'm good with that. All right. Want to do a little odds or evens for a little old time's sake?
Bring back the memories.
Right? Every now and then we do a little odds or evens. So, 3, 2, 1. Oh, were we all twos?
Yeah.
Is that correct? Okay, cool. 6 evens.
See.
Peter North, the banana knobcraft, you sick mother trucker.
All right.
I love
One of
banana
Blitz
knobcrafts.
Cruz is out. Chrono Kenny's out. William Sprague, sad to say, you're out. Harry, you're out, buddy. Dakota J is out. Nick H is out. Cadoza's out. Lake Compounds lover or not. And we're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
3, 2, 1. That's a 5. That's an odd number.
All right. Noah Van Brunt is out. J-Boy's out. Frank Grabner's out. The main catch is out. All right. Then there were 4.
Chat, give us a number. First one after Dark Soldier, plus whatever we throw up. 3, 2, 1. All right, so we got a 5 plus whatever number comes up after Dark Soldier. 5 and a 5, it's a 10, even number.
Even number. Jet Engine is out. Green and White Militia is out. Where you got 2? Blitz Crew and Rich L. That's it.
Ooh. Showdown. All right, first number after Infrared. It's a 5. Odds.
What?
Odds. No, not you. I'm just looking at the chat. It's a 5. It's an odd.
All right. Rich L's the winner. Rich L.
Rich L, reach out to me on Gmail. jetstalk247@gmail.com. Get your shipping information. You'll get a cool Talkin' Jets shirt. Check this out. Look at those monkeys. Boom.
Oh, baby.
Talkin' Jets monkeys.
Yeah.
Backs to Talkin' Jets monkeys. We're a good
I
looking
almost
group
wore
of
my sweatshirt. I was gonna wear my sweat. You want to know why I didn't? Because I brought these in here with me, and I thought I was gonna stain it. That's why it's.
Oh, dude, I dropped some shit on my sweatshirt the other day, and I was like, I gotta put the shout on it. So I threw it in the wash this morning. I had my T-shirt, but I forgot. I didn't
want to wear. I was nervous.
Oh, see, Green White Militia's in there. Green White Militia, he was the one that tagged us on Twitter. So if you guys do wind up getting one of the shirts, or we send you a shirt, definitely tag us on Twitter, because we'll retweet it, and we get excited for that sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
See, he's got it. It's super comfortable. We opted, smartly, I think, we opted for quality over profits. So we went with the higher end material over the other stuff. But boys and girls, we have reached the end of our show. So let's go around our panel. Let's give our closing thoughts and anything we want to say. Green Bean, I'll throw it to you first.
Well, I got to pick up my kid in about 2 hours, so I got to stay up anyway. So I'm going to do an after-hours Jets Fest. This is more than likely going to be the last one for a long time. I know I've said that before, but I got to get up at 3:30 in the morning next week, so I'm not going to be hanging out till 11:30 at night. Anyway, so come hang, man. Right after this show, 10:30, we'll start Green Bean Jets Fan. Have some more Jets fun.
Matt, any last words for our panel?
Yes, new episode of Just Jets comes out tomorrow. We are talking schedule. We are talking AFC power rankings and answering voicemails. It's a ton of fun.
I love it. Boys and girls, we are excited for the schedule to drop. Lots of rumors and speculation and everything. And we'll get back to it. We'll let you know if we're going to do a Jets group buy, that sort of thing. Put our noodles together. Boys and girls, it's been a lot of fun. This is Jets Talk signing off. JETS.
I think every single person in this locker room is a competitor at the highest level. So, yeah, when you feel as if your backs are against the wall, you never have to feel like you got to do it by yourself.
Unbelievable throw. Under pressure. Sacked by Quentin Williams. Right sideline, Uzama's got it.
You look to your left and your right, you got guys out there with you that our whole point is to help each other.
This one to Mims. That's Corey Davis climbing the ladder.
To be able to go out and lead these guys, just to know how hard these guys work and how important it is to them, and then you get that chance to lead them. Everything that happened that needed to happen for us, it almost felt like kind of like a sign, like get like a second chance almost.
Gets extra pushes, running left.
Maybe a little extra life to breathe in the locker.
Touchdown Jets.